Oh yeah, that debate. I didn't stick around very long, man. I'm sorry because you know, a couple of dildos in chat. It's just those guys just fucking take up all the oxygen. And yeah, just you know, because they're probably definitely going to watch this and make content out of it because that's literally all they can do. They have no talent. They have nothing, you know, of value to say except to deflect, you know, for I guess bigger channels is what it seems like. Against very small, like we're insignificant compared to the channels that we talk about typically, like in terms of sheer numbers. But these guys have nothing else, and really, you know, reconsider your lives, guys. It's pretty pathetic. So. Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, yes. I should. Whoops. I shouldn't even show that on screen. But yeah, they're very, very desperate. Honestly, dude, I'm kind of questioning like what their real motives are, in the sense that like it's just kind of bizarre how fixated they are on us, right? Like the initiative, people around the initiative is a very specific group of people, and like to the point that their little channel, that's almost exclusively what they talk about, and they do it in the most bad faith, fucking disingenuous way possible. Those guys are dipshits. Sorry, like a actual Phantom threatened to punch me. Like, no, I didn't. There was nothing. Like, it's just not what happened. He kind of looks like the douchebag friend from, you know, every slacker stoner movie or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to hit him. I want to hit him.
I see what you're looking at.
I've seen it. I want to beat those guys up. Like, this kind of implies that both sides, so to speak, are equally valid, and I think I reject that. I fucking reject it completely.
I'm not gonna show you my ass. You know what's kind of fucked up about that?
That's gonna be my impression of Eric from now on. It's just like, keep in mind, he's probably watching right now.
That's
Hi, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, make sure to like and subscribe, man.
Yeah.
He's been watching us a lot.
Nobody's
I
fucking
can tell you
season
what
right now.
character means.
It's like that Tupac song, bro. You made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way, you know?
Yeah, Uncle Tom.
For real.
Ooh.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
That's no, dude. I mean, look at how look at the work he does for the Blaze. Yeah, totally.
I love that jam.
Hey. Yeah.
What's up, man?
It is a hell of a song.
It
Hello,
is.
sir.
Hey.
It's great to see you. It's
You
great
as well?
to be back. Yeah, episode 5 now, I think. That is kind of
honest.
crazy. Yeah, time's flying. It's going good. Yeah, so we were gonna get a little bit more personal, tell you a little bit more about us, but some events happened. Some things were brought to our attention. Some things that we were told we must be aware of.
Some people hurt.
Yeah, there was definitely some misunderstanding, but yeah, I guess let's get right into it.
Common sense doesn't always line up with like online platforms. Someone in chat said, "My mum says you catch more bees with honey." John Constantine, your mother is not an online
advice.
data algorithm.
So I actually have 3 comments of his that I wanted to address because he's been making some points that I think are important. Both groups are very tribal.
That's
it's
true.
upsetting. Now, so that kind of, we get this kind of comment a lot. I'm not going to presume to know what your positions or views on these things are, but at the same time, this kind of implies that both sides, so to speak, are equally valid, and I think I reject that. I fucking reject it completely because they are factually incorrect.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure who this John Constantine, that's an awesome name, by the way, whoever the hell you are, sir.
It is a good one.
I'm not sure that he's talking about us, but I think there are some hints that perhaps it could be talking about, you know, maybe our group or another group that he's against. I'm not sure if he means like the ones that they're going after, but either way, if it is us or if it's like the Eric Julys or, you know, the Geeks and Gamers, whatever group this is, either the ones who are against him or the ones that he is against, I don't know. Why would the other side not be like worthy of consideration? I believe
because they're not valid.
It implies that both sides are valid. So I don't know. That just I don't know. I think that the you know, initiative, who I guess are our enemies, I think they're valid. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would want to explore their positions and tell them why I don't think they're correct. I think it's really, I don't know. Would you say immature to not be able to, even engage with the other side?
Very closed-minded individual. Dane.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
That might be a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he makes a good point that it is kind of stupid to do this tribal thing, and I think both sides definitely should point out some good things. Like Ed, who used to be a part of this, he just had a good conversation the other day with LG. I thought that went pretty well. I thought both sides, LG is a hell of a guy. But I thought both sides were, really charitable with each other. I thought, they actually had a pretty good conversation.
Chat was very lively.
So, I don't know. I want to give them props. Yeah, for sure. That was a fun chat.
I love
perhaps
that chat.
We'll talk about that a little bit more coming up.
Sure,
but
I can't wait.
Yeah, so I do want to give them props. I think they're definitely valid. I'm not just writing them off because I don't like some of their actions, and I feel like that's what these guys are doing. That's just not fair. So I hope that's what John Constantine was hinting at, because that's kind of what I get from his comments. But
he seems like a nice kid.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems intentionally so. They are deceptive generally, and not only that, but their analysis of media, their analysis of social issues, their analysis of pretty much everything is either very
so
stupid.
Maybe it's not
it's all on a spectrum of very stupid or very dishonest.
Gamers or something.
And we aren't that. So like tribalism,
Dane
you just hate tribalism altogether, okay? But like there's a reason that we are as passionate about doing this as we are, and that's because we care. First of all, we care about people. We care about the harm that this stuff can cause and does cause. It goes outside of the realms of fandom and into to the point where like the woke thing kind of started almost in fandoms, and now it's the entirety of the Republican platform. You know what I mean? So like, fandoms and media generally, like
graphics,
advertisement, and whatnot. But now it's just the Republicans are all just anti-woke. DeSantis, anti-woke. And so, yeah, just to frame it that way, I don't think is accurate, or it doesn't really get to the heart of the issue, rather. And so why don't we just block them? Because like I said a minute ago, we believe in more than the media itself.
I thought they
people
did.
call us shills, like we're just shilling to defend.
Pretty much what Dane does all the time.
Sure. But like that's generally not the first thing that I think we care about. Honestly, it's how this stuff is used to affect human beings, and people who are just trying to enjoy media, people who want representation that people like us have had forever, and we take that they take for granted. We take for granted that everything is targeted at our demographics. So it's like a certain people. Whenever that starts to change a little bit, they feel challenged by it.
Sounds like his privilege is talking.
And I think that's silly, and I think it's insecure, and I think it's bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know if this is exactly what
he's
you're
better
talking
than you
about
because he can see through it.
but I'm back. But it's like when I say in basically
I like
one of my videos
that Dane honestly answers, why don't you block them? Like, why don't that's all Dane does is fucking block people.
Yeah, it's like I know I got blocked for following him. Like literally, I think I had like one tweet prior, but I can't remember if I actually did tweet or not. But like it wasn't like there's some huge history or anything like that. It's just block. I block fascist like 5 minutes later. He tweeted out.
I think it says it on his Twitter profile. Like or used to say like I block fascist or something. But
I know I've seen it on there before, but I'm blocked, so I can't tell what he actually has on there.
There's got to be like a suggestion box for Elon Musk. I want to do like I feel like it should be a rule on Twitter where you cannot post about people if you're not going to keep your comments open. Like that should be the rule. Like if you're not keeping your comments open, you can't fucking post about anything. Post about the weather, but you can't post about anything topical because what's the fucking point of posting? Just like yelling at people and like. Why are you posting? And especially when he's like, talking about somebody else, he loves to do that. And then you can't even reply. It's like, what a pussy.
Yeah. We might have some of that coming up as well.
I'm always getting ahead of myself.
No, maybe we were tweeted about and we couldn't reply. That would be weird. If, we were blocked or something, how would one go about replying to that? I guess, just have to think about that coming up. But anyway, it is weird because he's not answering that as I do block them, and I actually support a whole bunch of these crazy tools, like I believe he calls them chud blockers, but just like add-ons to block beyond what YouTube is regularly doing. So I don't know. I would have thought he would go there because
Yeah,
he's
like
constantly saying to block people and use these weird blocker.
I thought he was going to tell
add-ons,
John
but,
like how to do it. Like, oh, here, John,
Yeah.
here's how I block everybody who ever has tried to talk to me ever with a different opinion.
yeah,
totally.
But that was,
Yeah. But yeah.
that was a weird, response to that though. I definitely thought he would have gone in a different direction. But yeah, now I guess it's Turf's response to this.
What's your
Why
Turf?
don't you block
Turf's a
them?
good
I'm
kid.
not like advocating for someone that they have to love the media I'm talking about, you know?
Yep.
Like I don't think people need to like She-Hulk or Rings of Power or Dial of Destiny.
Like
That
She-Hulk.
doesn't matter. People can hate
What
it,
if you
right? Or like
do?
really dislike it. And I think it's fine to critique something, right? Talk about what you don't like. That's also part of being a fan, right? But there's a lot of things within this content that's doing this in a very unhealthy way, right? And like presenting some pretty bad ideas that have nothing to do with what like actual critique of a piece of media is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had one more here that maybe he's done another one since then, but no, I mean, we watch them, you know, in order. I would
In
suggest
fact,
like,
John,
I
come
encourage
watch our
you not to
videos.
watch
You won't be
those
bad.
videos on your own, and like I cover them.
No, you can go ahead and watch them by us watching these videos.
For you.
I don't know. Andrew Clark recently had quite the analysis on the way that Bob, Organized Chaos, broke down the Critical Drinkers
yeah.
video.
Yeah, his interpretation
I
of
don't,
the Critical
I don't know
Drinkers
if that's
video.
the. I don't know if that's the best way to learn a chud's content, if you will. You know, I don't necessarily like anyone from the Fandom Initiative. These four guys on screen, along with DJ Eric and WILIscredia, are all part of this. Eric. So yeah, I don't like any of these guys' videos, but I wouldn't tell you only get their content through us. That would be really.
No, go sub to their
I don't know
channels.
what you even want to call that, but yeah, look at their stuff. Actually hear it from the horse's mouth, and that isn't like you know, just me talking about their looks or anything like that. Just
sub, comment.
you know, the proverb that we all know. You know, actually, you know, get the information from them. Don't take our word for it. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be Bob's philosophy here. You know, don't go to their channels. Just watch our take on it.
Usually
weird.
before I watch a movie, I'll watch a full review with spoilers because that's the best way. That's the best. Like, don't go see Avatar.
No, you got to be primed correct.
Watch the drinker.
You don't want to have the wrong opinion going into it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he'll tell you the right opinion. I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll tell you what to think. There's like a word for that, right? Isn't
yeah, I think so. There might be a few, in fact.
Maybe Chad can help us come up with the right word for that. I can't think of it, but there's a word for when you filter down information to be disseminated.
Yeah, there's got to be some. Yeah. But yeah, maybe we should just take their word for it. They'll give us the best takes on anything possible.
It doesn't make you bad. I mean, I think it does contribute to, like, we're very selective with what we do watch because, you know, like we're saying about the algorithm, any engagement, you just watching their video is going to benefit them. Just mentioning them in a video is probably helping them. But we try to like balance that out with effective criticism that is hopefully going to reach somebody, right? Like, so you asked just now, how do you know who you can reach? I think you said that. Yeah. What we don't like.
I mean, how does anybody know?
That is a good question.
How do these guys know who they can reach?
John is on fire with his questions.
Yeah, these are actually like really deep questions. So I would answer this that you know, you don't know who you're going to reach, and I think that's the thing. You've got to be consistent, and you've got to show, you know, why you actually believe what you believe, and you know, maybe you're actually going to reach somebody. Like if you're having a debate with somebody, you're probably not going to reach the person that you're actually talking to. It's probably, you know, you're both locked in. You had to come to like your conclusion, actually come up with a point, an argument, probably write it down. At that point, you've pretty much locked yourself in and dug your heels down. I don't know if your mind's going to necessarily be changed, but you don't know who else is watching that. And they will actually see the information that you're bringing forward. You know, maybe you'll reach them. I think to me, I don't think you could know.
I think that John was. I'm not sure of how he meant this question, but it's interesting if you think about it. How do you determine who can be reached? Like, you really don't. You know, you don't determine who can be reached. You just stay genuine and you know, to thine own self be true, and put yourself out there. And if somebody relates, then I think that's when you won them. But these guys seem to filter out who's okay, who's not. subscribe for 2 weeks, block. They're gatekeepers, right? Isn't that the term for guys like this?
It certainly seems like it. They call themselves something other than gatekeepers.
Assholes?
They use a different euphemism. I think that's what a lot of the non-Fandom Initiative calls themselves, calls them. But they don't like the term gatekeeping. But it definitely seems as though what they do would fit any definition of it. But getting back to how they're going to answer this, how do you think they're going to answer it? Who do you think they think could be reached? I don't know.
Probably cis heteronormative white men.
Ooh.
No?
I don't know. Let's see. That might be their answer.
You put your video up and you see what happens.
Here's the way I look at it: is you look at how many people like a video, any video, and you look at how many people comment. It's far, far, far fewer than actually watch the video. And so I try to think about the potential people in that that silent audience, so to speak, that really guys you should like videos more often. Nonetheless, there's got to be some percentage of people in there that are just kind of taking it in,
Danes.
And possibly something is going to get through to them. Maybe enough times that they hear us make a strong argument compared to seeing these guys just call everything woke without any kind of justification.
I mean,
so.
No justification whatsoever.
For a long time,
I don't think I've ever called anything woke.
Just never like or comment.
It's not a great term. We
woke
should
like
just be honest about the term woke someday in the future. Yeah. But I guess we haven't actually explored that. It means some things to different people. You know what? Yes.
Well, what's that thing
maybe
when everything?
Future, just be honest. We'll do the woke.
When everything can be something, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a whole thing for it. But yeah, we'll touch on that.
No, for sure. And I get the point. And that's why I don't use it. I think I've used it like 3 times in my life, and each time it felt a little cringe. Like, what the hell am I even talking about? Like, I don't know. I think I could just explain why I don't like whatever I don't like.
Yeah. I don't even say it when I'm talking about getting up in the morning anymore.
On anything with like found something really moving or empowering, right? It's just I didn't engage with it in any way because I just didn't think that was a thing. And I think it's important to think about those people in your audience, right? Who are watching, right, but aren't like commenting or anything. You'll never know the impact you have on them, right? But you could be having a significant impact.
So I'm starting to feel like maybe I don't know if this is a disingenuous line of questioning or something, but like
I'm getting a phone
call. It's
John, you're about to get blocked. You better watch
so
out.
They're getting a disingenuous feeling about this guy. Oh, that sucks for this guy. So I'm pretty sure that means that this guy's blocked.
He's on his way.
But yeah, like, what is wrong with that? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with someone watching our stuff, watching their stuff. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with anyone watching like Geeks and Gamers stuff, actual fandom stuff, turf stuff. Why couldn't you watch The Critical Drinker and Bob's analysis of it? I don't know. I feel like that would give you a much, wider
like
view
I don't
on
watch
the actual topic.
I don't
rather
watch
than
news.
Just our point of view or their point of view.
I don't watch news
Sorry,
as much as I used to. That's okay. I don't watch news as much as I used to. But when I did, especially like during the election times, things like that, I would watch CNN, and then I'd watch Fox. You know what I mean? Like I would try to watch things that have opposing views, so that way I could be like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me, but this doesn't. John seems like pretty level-headed guy. He's like looking to watch both, so he's like, okay, maybe because obviously the guys on the anti-woke side are going to have a different perspective than actual fandom. So it's nice to know both sides.
Again, it's kind of like the horse's mouth thing. Like you want to actually get the information distilled from the source, not stepped on by some other source who's definitely going to add their own little spice to it. I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to go have them actually look at the original source unless you're not being honest about it?
Yeah, I would urge everyone to go get the original source of this, but it no longer exists. So we're doing a public service.
Well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think Turf did take it down from what I saw. So, yeah, good times.
Okay, I mean, like, we're not here to judge you, man. Like, we're not the moral arbiters.
Really?
We can only say what we think about
They don't
content,
judge.
and we can tell you that it's a fact that that watching it, engaging with it on any kind of regular basis is definitely contributing to narratives and claims and whatnot that are harmful, directly harmful to in particular right now trans people.
It's a fact that it's harmful and directly harmful.
But so if you're cool with that, and that's on
queer
you.
and trans.
You know what I mean? Like I can have my opinion of you or whatever, but it's totally your call.
Yeah. I don't know if this person's like fully serious.
Yeah, we're not going to answer anymore. But he did have he did have a good line of questions.
Yeah.
Maybe they were legit, but even if they were legit, I think we've given a suitable amount of time.
For sure.
Okay. And there were a couple of other Constantine
just real quick, and I know we said we weren't going to
questions. They
address
seem
anymore,
kind
and
of
I'm definitely not going to now, and depending on what he says next, we'll see what happens. But if you can prove that this movie raised awareness for how to donate towards the cause with that, show me where you donated. Send me the receipt. I mean, the kind of invoice or whatever the hell you call it.
Don't send him anything, John.
Actualfandom@gmail.com.
I don't think he's quite understanding what this guy is saying.
And support what you're saying.
Don't send him your personal
actual
information.
address.
Do you have that screen capture of the donation page still available?
Well, I can just pull it up right here.
Boom.
Okay, so this is a picture of the actual page, correct?
This is the live page right now. Yeah.
Is there anywhere on this page that
There's
links you to donating to any sort of organization that helps with this, or is it just to buy the ticket?
That is a.
Yeah, he was right. I don't think there is a link.
Yeah, that is because.
But why would there be a link to a different organization?
Than the organization that the movie's based on?
Affiliated with. Well, but isn't this the page that's literally talking about the campaign to get this movie everywhere and get free tickets?
Yeah.
Essentially, you can donate tickets, or if you can't afford it, then you get free tickets. So I understand there is an organization or whatever, but it would be like saying, why doesn't this car wash also do, I don't know, my taxes or something? It's it's a different service than this is supposed to do at the same time. I don't know. Maybe it's not so great of an analogy, but it seems like an apples and oranges.
I wonder if
this was for a charity, if it was to actually make money for this organization, that seems like it would be slightly different than this campaign to get this seen by as many people. It kind of feels like this is more an awareness campaign than
I'm curious though,
an actual pledge drive or a donation drive. But sorry, go right ahead.
I keep talking over to you, but I'm looking down at these
we got a
things.
delay. That's why my camera's off.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm looking down at these things, and it says all the questions. How else can I support Sound of Freedom? How is the ticket price determined? Blah blah blah. How will the money be used? No, they didn't click on any of these plus thingies. Wait, wouldn't these answer the questions that they have right now?
It would be nice.
I'm curious. I want to actually go to the website.
Instead, they're just going to take a superficial look, and yeah, I guess we could.
Don't follow the links to where they say how would the money be used.
Yeah, that would be nice. That is interesting, but
yeah, I mean it's right fucking there on the where would they scroll through? I don't see that. I don't see this web page. I can't find.
I'm actually not any other way on there. So it's actually talking about a bunch of different ways that you can do it. You could send in a review. You can send emails to help them. You can donate tickets. You can get tickets if you don't have enough. They've got a whole bunch of Facebook links that you can share, Instagram links. Nothing on here is talking about getting money from anyone. You can pay it forward and get tickets for other people, or you can claim free tickets. But I'm not actually seeing anything that does directly solicit donations. But it is rather strange that they're not actually opening up any of these drop downs. How
just struck
will this money
me
be used?
as I was reading.
Provides means for the people to claim tickets. Literally, it's all this does is for the tickets. It looks like they're keeping this completely separate. They're doing movie completely separate from organization, even though it supports the organization and advertises for them. It looks like they're not doing anything in conjunction with them. So I don't know. It just seems a little weird that they would not have looked that up beforehand. But I don't know. Maybe Eric is the only one who thought about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, also, if you go to
that,
the Sound of Freedom website,
stream...
it's a different website than this. It's the actual organization.
Yes, it's angel.com. Pay it forward. It appears to be the studio just doing a campaign to do the free tickets. Yeah, exactly.
Has more ways to actually donate directly to the cause than the.
I mean, it can
I
give
don't
you
see
information, and that's they
anything.
can give you information, and that's fine. But I would think this would be the perfect opportunity to put a button on here that says, "Click here to donate to this organization to help fight this issue." But it's not doing that. It's just selling tickets.
Claim free ticket.
Yeah, it's something completely different is the thing. Like, you're right. There could be a button on there that could do a bunch of different things, but that's not what they're trying to do here. I don't know. It seems like a weird point. It appears that they're trying to get awareness of the situation, and maybe through that awareness you will donate to the organization, but it doesn't appear to be like in conjunction with them. I don't know. It seems a little different to me. I would think that they would respect the distinction, but I don't know. I guess they can't see it. But yeah, it just seems like two different things, this whole ticket thing and then actual donations to the organization. But I don't know.
Yeah, claim free ticket, buy tickets, pay it forward, contribute. Now,
also hold on, wait a second. This just popped to mind. I'm sorry. I have to. They can't afford a ticket. So why? I mean, no offense to. I mean, it's definitely a classist statement to make. But like, why would they want the attention of people who can't afford a movie ticket? They can't afford to, donate to the cause or anything like that.
Because
why
they view
raise
people as
awareness
people,
among
not
people who
just
can't
classes.
even afford a movie ticket? I don't know. That's just.
Isn't it? Is that why you
They
click
want the message
if
out there
you
to
want to
everyone?
like claim one of these bought tickets?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about like claiming one and just seeing how cool the theater actually is.
Look. Okay, wait. Hold on. Look at that second thing. Buy tickets now to show your support of ending child trafficking. How does that support anything?
See, that literally, John, they literally are advertising it as you buying a ticket shows.
Run, John, run.
This. It's literally a feel-good fucking, this is the kind of shit the right constantly says that the left is doing. Virtue signaling is exactly what this
I would
is.
like to see what
Fucking virtue
John's
signaling.
comment was there that he's
And
yelling
the
at John about.
shameless fucking way. Sorry.
So if I had a whole bunch of donations and I had a movie that I wanted to push out there and I wanted to make it look like grassroots support and nobody had heard of this thing, one thing I would probably do, or if I had the option, if I had this system set up here, is you could probably just like buy out movie theaters. All of a sudden, like you can goose up those box office numbers, and all of a sudden, like you're in the top whatever the box office, and then let mainstream media do the rest of your work.
Virtue signal. Those are bad.
Like, oh my god, this movie came out of nowhere, and then boom. All of a
I've
sudden,
got
there's
something.
conversations all around it. They don't want this message getting out. Nobody is trying to stop the message that child trafficking is bad, because it is bad. Everybody knows it's disgusting.
Maybe I live in another reality, but where is it that until this movie, no one knew about this? Where, like, this is not brand new. Like, this is something that's been going on.
Has anyone ever claimed that? So, like, if there's ever been a movie about some subject that's now off limits, like hey, I'm sorry, we already knew about that. Like, we don't ever have to discuss that subject again.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems really weird. Like, I don't know that anyone's making the claim that nobody has said child trafficking is wrong. This is a different depiction than I think has been out there in popular culture before. I don't know much about it, but I'm guessing they're not saying we invented child trafficking hunting, but hunting down the traffickers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a depiction of that. I don't know. It seems like it may warrant a story being told, but I don't know. Why do they oppose it so much?
I mean, I just can't see why any attention would be bad.
Yeah. Me too.
What a weird hill to die on.
We did watch this stream, and I didn't include a lot. Yeah, exactly. That is such a weird hill, and they keep doing these weird child thing hills that they keep dying on. Like, I'm starting to see a pattern. I don't want to use their tools, but weird nicknames, wanting to destigmatize certain things. I don't know. I'm starting to see a pattern, and I don't like where this is going.
No.
But it just seems weird that again, like the entire stream was kind of about this movie, and a lot of conspiracy theory-esque reasons that it's all about QAnon, even though it seems to be a real group that does actually, help people who have been human trafficked. Even if their track record isn't great, isn't the fact that they're doing something good? Like, shouldn't that still... I don't know, maybe he doesn't believe in incrementalism, but if they're doing any good, isn't it better than no good? And then couldn't we work to make it better good or more good?
I would think even if like 3% of the people or 5% of the people that see this movie decide to take an interest in this and donate somewhere, then isn't that good?
I think so.
Or no,
And,
it's probably not.
Maybe it'll bring it more top of mind, and then one of these 9 charities that they actually mention here, maybe they would actually get the money. That still seems like that would be a win-win, even if it's not the organization depicted here. If somebody's actually thinking about it and more concerned about it, maybe it would lead to actually more awareness, more donation, perhaps a better outcome for everyone.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Apparently they're not doing it the right way, and it's very strange. But maybe I should have included some clips for context, but they get real conspiratorial, and
they get
it feels
really
like it
weird
would
on
take
this
a long
one.
time to include a lot of that.
For a very, very, very long time, and people have been fighting against it for a very, very long time. This one singular film is not doing anything at a major level to stop the problem.
That's so dumb.
Yep. I mean, okay, well, fair enough, John.
Awareness.
Fair enough. That is true, and thank you for acknowledging.
What did you
that
say,
these
John?
are better ways than not.
John
We were
says
talking about better ways to donate because of this movie. If it wasn't being talked about, we'd be talking about AirrickDebunks. Yeah, that's a good point.
Fair enough.
Like, if this movie wasn't talked about right now, he wouldn't be advertising for those 9 charities back there, 9 organizations that appear to be doing a better job than the one depicted in this movie. Great. That still seems like it's bringing awareness to this. I think that's a really good question. And he's right. Wouldn't they just be mocking somebody, probably in a racist manner?
There's not anybody that wasn't like aware of it. I mean, I guess there can be an argument to accept that like not realizing how bad it is, right? Like a lot of people were aware of racism before George Floyd, so to speak. You know what I mean? That moment definitely made some people really look at things in a new way. So I mean, I guess in that way, it's possible that it raises awareness.
Maybe
it's weird, right?
It's
really weird.
Probably isn't the time to get into it, but it's like, how did that show racism? Like,
I don't think we should touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but I felt the same thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe we could have a think about that.
I wonder if Donald Trump, right? Like, if he got reelected and was like first day, like, I'm introducing a policy. LGBTQ is accepted 100%, and it's on the books. Whatever you guys want, you got. I'm doing it. I wonder if they'd be like, "Fuck that shit. It's coming from the right.
I think
it's
so.
got to be bad."
I kind of think they're a bit debate brained, as the term is, but yeah, I kind of think they're going to disagree no matter what, even if it's what they want. It can't come from you. You're the enemy. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic, but that seems to be my experience with it.
It seems like that's a situation here.
Of like beyond just peripheral awareness, but I don't know. I don't want to defend it in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I'll say this: the Taken series was based on and that was a massive film.
Taken?
Like it was based on something like a sex slave situation. So I mean, this thing has been around for a while.
Taken has awareness, but this film doesn't.
So. Moving on.
Fucking idiot.
What I was trying to find is there's a term in media studies, interpassivity, which is where like a piece of technology.
That's a fun word, interpassivity.
Interpassivity.
Or I guess a hyphenated word. Okay, I'm not currently aware of it, so please explain, pillar of garbage.
Or a piece of media is kind of seen to act on the user or the reader's behalf. So one example, the example I was thinking of is in Mark Fisher's book, Capitalist Realism. He mentions Robert Fowler has given the example of the way Wall-E is, the film Wall-E, right? The little cool robot guy. So that kind of, the quote is, the film performs our anti-capitalism for us, allowing us to continue to consume with impunity. So there's a similar thing going on here, right? Like the film performs anti-groomer action for the very concerned viewer who's become very concerned since seeing the trailer, and then they go to the movies, they watch it, the interpassivity plays out, they genuinely feel like they've made a difference, and then that allows them to get on their little moral high horse.
And on top of that, it foments kind of this general vague disdain for who they see as the people that are either pro this or just anti this move. Like, you know what I mean? So like there's a lot of, honestly, there's one way to frame this that I think is just succinctly said once I get to it. Not
what
that
is
one,
it,
not
Dane?
that one.
Any minute now. It's insidious.
You fucking dipshit.
So I don't know, the concept of interpassivity. I don't know. It's an interesting concept, I guess. I'm not sure that I quite understand it. So he's saying that, like, so for instance, for WALL-E, like, you can look at that and through whatever the events of the film, you can somehow feel that you are doing your part to be anti-capitalist enough, but you're not really doing anything. I don't know, kind of the study on that and kind of what he's basing that off of. Because I don't know, I often think about that film a lot, and I've changed a lot of my life based off of WALL-E. I know I was a lot more sedentary, and then like that really showed me like the horror story that could be our future. You know, if we're all sitting like looking like lima beans just in our beanbag chair that does everything. I don't know. Did that change me to be anti-capitalist? Like, no, but is that necessarily the goal of it? I would have thought that it would be awareness of a possible horrific future, and I feel like it's done that really in spades. Like, I don't know. I often think about that movie, probably more than I should. You know, like that really had an impact on me. I don't know. You got any feelings?
It made me like fat chicks again. Not really. I don't know. Whenever guys like Pillar of Garbage talk, I don't really listen to him. I've heard some of his stuff. I'm not knocking the guy because I don't know enough about him. But whenever guys like him talk with an English accent like that, I'm always like, is this guy really smart, or he just sounds fucking smart? Like, did he just pull a word out that maybe I don't know, and now he's gonna mention some names? Because I was following along, and I'm like, wait, is he talking about fucking WALL-E? Like, like it sounded like he was about to talk about some kind of like
he was
really like
fact.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, like all right. So I get distracted by the English accents. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously,
we all do.
You know, I kind of feel like
again,
it makes a little bit of sense. Like, I don't know, if you watch something that's inspirational, like what's that movie with Will Smith and Jada? Not Jada. The kid, his son.
What the hell is it? It's something. I know the one that you're talking about, like the crash.
The Pursuit of Happiness.
No, The Pursuit of Happiness. Sorry, I thought you meant the other one, After Earth or whatever. Yes, Pursuit of Happiness. Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
That one is much more inspirational.
Yeah, you watch that, and that inspires you to like get up and fucking sort your life out, like work hard.
For sure.
You know, I've seen movies about people overcoming obstacles, or you know, a big one was Philadelphia. Tom Hanks. Like, change the perspective of how we view people with AIDS. You know,
for sure.
So to say a movie like The Sound of Freedom would have no impact on a situation like this is just fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it would seem to discount, you know, like you're saying with like Philadelphia or, you know, Dallas Buyers Club, it would discount like the impact that like film could have on popular culture, which I don't think, you know, Pillar of Garbage, who is like a film reviewer and video essayist, I don't think he would deny that they do have effects on culture. Like it has definitely changed things. You know, they often cite like Will and Grace being one of the major changes to allow like LGBT culture into, you know, pop culture. You know, I think representation does have a lot to do with that. I don't know. It would be an interesting conversation, but I guess we'll never have that, you know?
Yeah.
But perhaps this particular movie could make it more acceptable and not such a taboo topic to talk about. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it would put it more front of mind, and
it's just like
maybe it would help put a stop to it.
Just like my theory on Elon and on his Sisters of Slur thing. Worst case scenario, you got it made dickhead Dane, like John Constantine pointed out. Worst case scenario, it made dickhead Dane spend 3 hours talking about sex trafficking and the best possible ways that you could donate to the cause. So
yeah,
Dane's
that
impact on the
like
world.
A great impact.
Yeah, and Dane's impact on the world is, you know, I've had farts with a bigger impact on the world, but you know, I
don't know, they don't linger as long.
Yeah, they don't disappear as fast either. But they I'm sure there's many YouTubers that are pro and against this movie talking about it, and people on social media and people in the news and people at dinner tables and conversations that never would have fucking happened had they not made this movie.
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think John Constantine, wherever you are, if you got banned from there,
you're welcome with us.
You're welcome here, man. Even if
Open
you didn't
arms.
get banned from there, you're welcome here. You're still welcome over there. Even if you don't agree with us, you agree with them. That's perfectly fine. But you're asking some really good questions, and I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah. I'm in.
I know. Look, maybe you don't watch our stuff enough to know that what our position is, but we don't address that shit when they're literally obviously.
Hey, DJ Eric is here, and they're talking about not addressing shit.
It's amazing.
That seems to be his specialty, right?
Yeah, it must be a Wednesday.
With the most disingenuous framings of shit that you possibly can do.
Yeah, no, that's kind of it.
Most
like
disingenuous framing.
I kind of brought up on my.
Most disingenuous framing. Who could they possibly be talking about?
I don't know.
The most bad faith motherfucker in the world.
That's Bob talking about me, but they were talking about most in the world. There's an extra layer to my title there from Bob, but yeah, my ears are burning. Could they be talking about us?
I streamed before, but I can bring it up briefly on here. There's lots of bottom feeding channels right now that are going after us, and they're looking for attention from us, and I'm not going to give it to them.
No,
give it to me.
It's I mean, that's literally what they want, and like if they, we've given plenty of ways that you can like email us and say, there's. I don't want to say we're 100% against debates at this point or anything, but like can't send an email and lay out exactly what it is you'd like to discuss, and it not seem like you're being a fucking disingenuous shithead.
Oh yeah, because I've never done anything like that. You've never done anything like that, right, Greg?
I didn't even have a conversation with a group of people, and they started attacking me for not having.
Sorry, I kind of spoke over DJ Eric here, which, again, friend of the show. Welcome, DJ Eric. I can't say that I've ever been welcomed on for a conversation. I don't think I've done disingenuous framing afterwards, but I know I've seen Dane do that specifically to you.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's kind of a teaser. We may or may not have obtained that secret footage. And it is kind of a long one, but we will definitely be going through that soon.
It's
kind
coming.
of the origin story. But yeah, DJ Eric right here. I don't know. I think I got to go back just a second.
No, it's I mean, that's literally what they want. And like if they, we've given plenty of ways that you can like email us and say, I don't want to say we're 100% against debates at this point or anything, but like if you can't send an email and lay out exactly what it is you'd like to discuss and it not seem like you're being a fucking disingenuous shithead, it's not worth.
I didn't even have a conversation with the group of people, and they started attacking me for not having the conversation. It was just stupid. Like, I'm not here to debate.
That what happened?
I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. If you're already in the position to quote unquote debate me about something, then there's nothing I can say to you that's gonna make you change your mind. So it's a pointless thing.
I think
Is that what you did? Did you go into Twitter and say, hey, I want to debate you because I really, really am dug into my position and I can change your mind? Or option B, did you literally say, not a debate, I just want to have a discussion and understand?
I think what I said was like, I rolled in there into Twitter and I started commenting and I was like, listen, you fat piece of shit. You're gonna fucking listen and you're gonna talk to me and you're gonna answer every fucking question I got, or it's gonna be fucking trouble for you. That's exactly what I said. Or no, wait, I said, hey man, I'm really open to a conversation with you. I don't want to debate because I know you're not into debate either. I said, I said, I don't think debates get us anywhere. It's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in, bringing our tribes together and having a conversation, but I don't want to debate.
Yeah.
He even said, oh, wow, I agree. Great.
We do kind of document this whole saga in a couple episodes back. It's the one that has a couple characters on it that kind of look like Dane and maybe one of his little puppets.
Yeah.
But anyway, it shows the text in full there. Tweets in full there. Yeah. And then it gets into this whole situation with the DMs. So, we have dropped all the receipts on that. This is not an accurate framing of this. Nobody wanted to debate with him. It was just supposed to be a conversation.
He's
and
a liar.
He set some parameters for the conversation that Patrick would have to send some questions ahead of time and get them approved. They were approved by Eric, possibly by his people. I don't know. But he said he needed some time. And in that time, and the questions had to be sent through direct message. So
Correct.
They were DM'd to him. So that's kind of where we're at. Let's see if he makes the rest of that all clear.
I've successfully covered up I think I can show this and it's fine. So this channel at this point was like a few days ago had 161 subscribers.
These guys, who are these guys?
That's the video. So yeah, if you do want to see the entirety of this drama with
saga.
DJ Eric, go ahead and see that video. It's the first one in the top left there.
Dane steals
I believe he's going to actually say the title of it right here. But yeah,
thanks for the shout out,
that
Dane.
would be the one. You can see the entirety of the Twitter conversation, along with any leaked DMs that they're talking about. And then we also answer the questions as well as Dane kind of does.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun time.
And
check it
bonus,
out.
it's still there. We don't actually pull down content. So.
Oh, yes, it will still be there. But yeah, let's let him talk. I'm sure he'll be super charitable. Oh, but huge shout out to you new subs. That is awesome. I think he grabbed this like a week ago, and now we're at like 190 or just above 190. So thank you, you 30 plus new subs. You are awesome. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. We are planning to give you a lot more good content and definitely do some better thumbnails in the near future. But
they're getting better.
Again, we were looking to yes, AI has really helped. So we were looking to move on to different topics, as it's like episode 1
just
was
sucking us back in.
Exactly. Just when you think you're out, they gotta keep bringing us up.
It's funny too because you and I talked, and like almost every time we've made one of these, we're always like, I don't want to talk about these fucking guys anymore. I'm kind of bored of this. And then all of a sudden they'll just start talking shit about us, and we're like, God damn it, we gotta fucking say
yes. I mean, maybe it's a never-ending cycle, but
it's almost like it's on purpose.
What can I say? I feel like I should respond to these lies. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think it is, what do you call it? A mutually beneficial relationship. I guess we're both getting content out of this, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hope it's somewhat symbiotic.
We're creating content out of it. Dane is stealing content from us to use, and occasionally mentioning us without mentioning our names. But we are creating content based on this. Dane is actually just stealing it.
That is a good point. And let him make his point here. Again, he seems to be attacking this small channel, which it seems like something he would never do. Never. No. But let's see what's going on.
Almost 100% dedicated to me and Bob and the initiative, and just like fucking super disingenuous. This is the one where that DJ was talking about. I stole content to destroy understanding of LGBT. What happened was you watched the Fatcast on Sundays. So DJ shared.
Did it say he stole content and refused to debate, or to prevent understanding? I don't know. I think we titled it somewhat valid. We definitely could have clickbaited the hell out of that, but it wasn't that he didn't debate. It's that he didn't want to have any understanding. He didn't want to have a conversation. Instead, they just want to write you off.
Yeah, and the stealing kind of implies too that like nobody fucking asked him to be involved in this. I don't know. He'll touch on this, but for some reason he seems to think like, these guys need his permission to fucking breathe or to do anything on their own. They can't do anything without Dane's permission. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that is where those whole, puppet rumors come from. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not sure,
the puppet master.
Is he a ventriloquist? I don't know. Does he? I don't know. I can't substantiate.
He's not a poupette master, but he is a puppet master.
Oh, okay. Wow.
In our Discord, these questions that these people had, sent him as like a olive branch. They wanted to have a conversation. It's good faith conversation.
Not DMs.
Did you say questions in his Discord?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Let me back that up. I think he said something about questions in his Discord.
Oh yeah.
But okay, maybe he had DJ Eric send it to him through Discord.
Yeah, let's hear
maybe I'm not being charitable and I just misheard him. But would you ever be let into his Discord to possibly message this guy? I can't think that he would ever let me message him or anything like that.
I'm fucking shocked he has one.
I definitely. Yeah. Well, apparently he has like a super secret one that there are different layers to it that you need to actually prove yourself before you can move to the next layer. And
the password is douchebag.
Dane. I swear we don't have any plants inside your secret layer. I swear.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't even worry about
don't
that.
Fret, my friend.
you're good. Security is still tight. But here, let's get back to what Dane is saying.
Sent him as like a olive branch. They wanted to have a conversation. It's good faith
Not
conversation.
DMs. I want to make this very clear. Not DMs. I did not share any DMs with anybody. It was strictly the topics. That was what I shared.
I don't believe you.
Because I keep getting called like a backstabber because I shared DMs. I didn't share.
I don't think I went back far enough.
I'm
One
not
more
trying
time.
to change anybody's mind. If you're already in the position to quote unquote debate me about something, then there's nothing I can say to make you change your mind. So it's a pointless thing.
I think I've successfully covered up I think I can show this and it's fine.
Damn it.
So this channel at this point,
well, I'll be cutting out all of
had
this up
161
until
subscribers
the
and
one part.
It's almost 100% dedicated to me and Bob and the initiative, and just like fucking super disingenuous. This is the one where that DJ was talking about. I stole content to destroy understanding of LGBT. What had happened was, if you watch the Fatcast on Sundays, DJ had shared in our Discord these questions that these people had sent him.
He said they does say
they wanted to have a conversation.
Shared in, no, he said shared in our Discord.
DJ Eric.
Yeah, but he said shared in our Discord. He didn't say direct message me in Discord.
I know.
He said he shared them in our Discord. So that means he not only I was under the impression that he just gave it to them when they have their little fucking stupid conference every Friday or whatever, their pre-meeting. He actually shared these with a fucking bunch of people. What an asshole. What a fucking jerk.
Yeah, that sucks. I didn't actually catch that.
No.
I misheard him
It
and
makes it
initially
so much
thought that he was
worse.
saying that you shared it with him on Discord. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like, and he DM'd me these on Discord. You're right. He said he shared it in our Discord.
In our Discord.
Wow. Huh.
What a jerk off.
Well, maybe I would have known about that if I had someone on that inner layer, but I don't know anything about that. So wow. That is just
there was no way for us to have known
that is worse than I thought. Yeah. No, that's really, really bad. So anyway, these questions that you totally shared to DJ within a DM, like he DM'd to you, and in fact, you did share that with the one thing that they can actually say that you possibly did not in the greatest faith. And that was you took one screenshot of the DMs where you show that he said, what are the questions? You DM'd in the questions and he said, those look great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it or whatever.
Literally two messages.
Again, check the receipts of the last one.
Yeah, it's still up there.
But he agreed to the conversation.
Didn't even have his name.
And he agreed to the questions. So
and he thought the questions were
good.
good.
It just, yeah.
He's
and
like,
he said that in the DM. Like the one thing that you shared shows that all of this was DM as well. So I don't know why he's lying about this, but
because he's a liar.
Yes, he is right that he then put this in the Discord. So technically, Dane didn't show your DM. He just took all of the information that you DM'd him. Which would they then say it's not me stealing their DMs if say we hit Control-C, grabbed all of their DMs, hit Control-C, and moved it to a Word document. Now we're not actually sharing their DMs. It's not their intellectual property.
It's a picture of a
it's
picture
just
of a picture.
Words. Yeah, it's I don't know, that it doesn't exactly work that way. It shows you're not operating in good faith.
That'd be bad
this was
faith.
clearly sent to DJ Eric in DMs. So it seems to me that he shared DMs with his good friends, and then they did a stream mocking them.
Yeah.
But maybe I am looking at this wrong. I'm sure he's going to show me how it's not actually him sharing DMs. I'm sure he'll explain it.
Let's see.
DMs with anybody. It was strictly the topics. That was what I shared. Because I keep getting called a backstabber because I shared DMs. I didn't share any DMs. I shared the topics.
Yeah. So, and by the way, those topics are not IP. You can't steal them. They're just words. They're ideas that but I took those and on the Force Diversity podcast, because we're talking about centrism as a problem. And I was like, this would be
centrism as a problem. Again, I'm sure, if you've followed us, you've heard the tale, but I've never identified as a centrist, neither has Patrick.
No.
But in one of our videos, I happen to mention every time I take a political compass test, it puts me somewhere near the center. Somehow Dane has picked that up that we are now both enlightened centrists. Perhaps it's because I kind of came out of the Adam and Stitch community. I think Patrick also had familiarity with it. So maybe that's how we get labeled that, but I don't know. Previously, he had labeled me alt-right. It's just kind of weird.
Previously, he labeled me a racist. So, I guess I'm moving up.
But he clickbaited this title as I can't remember the truth about centrists or what is centrism. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he didn't actually talk about that at all. All it was supposed to be was a dig at us, and then reading those questions,
showing how the questions
have nothing to do with
tricks.
centrism.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were literally just questions to try and get more understanding so that possibly there could be more unity. Finding out where we could come together as opposed to where we are so different. But yeah, I don't know. Dane seems to want to just keep focusing on that and alienating.
And I mean, we tried to be. We went over these questions. We tried to be as fair as possible. I mean, I showed them to you. I went over with my girlfriend. I went over with a lot of people. I mean, maybe I thought being really fair and making the questions as as fair as possible, as good faith as possible, and as a way to open up a conversation, I thought would be a way to like pull Eric in and show him that it wasn't bullshit. But apparently, I mean, maybe I needed like a magnet to attract him of sorts. I don't know, some kind of magnet I could have used.
I'm thinking WILIscredia might be able to help you with that. He seems to be able to get Dane to stick around. But yeah, maybe we should get back to the video.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect for us to address, and we did. We broke down each one of them. Me and Questing Refuge and my co-host Morgan. And the thing we didn't do that really pissed them off was mention who they are, the people that asked the questions. We just made sure not to mention their names, just like
I'm so pissed.
And they
don't
fucking hate that because that's what they want. That's literally what.
That's all that we want. We just want you to say our names, Dane. Just it's that.
I mean, I'd prefer him to stop talking about us at this point, so we would have to, so we can stop answering.
It'd be great. We could move on to some other hard-hitting topics. We could explore your backstory, our current political journey.
And we're always open to talk, though.
For sure. I think the topic of gatekeeping might be a cool one to go over.
Sure.
We mentioned that woke thing. All these things would be fun topics to get into. But if people keep talking shit and lying about us, I feel we have to respond. So
don't be talking shit.
Dane, if you do want to call this off now, cool. Quit talking about us. We'll quit talking about you.
Bob has the right idea.
The backstory, which you are kind of involved in, but that just shows what you tried to hide.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not pissed that you're not saying my name. It's fine. If it's too hard for you, you can just call me he who cannot be named.
They want. And
if the questions are valid, then it doesn't matter who asks them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So there's the actual
Good
fan
point.
was scared of us,
Good
and
point,
is
Pillar.
this a slur? And of course,
Well, to give
I found
credit
out
out,
in the end it was all
Green,
bad fake, basically.
green,
I found out it was
green.
bad
Graphics
fake
card.
anyway,
Green,
so
green,
I mean,
green.
no loss on my side.
I just want to bring this up real fast
Yeah,
because
sorry,
just
everyone.
to give credit outwards too. It's not just you and me, Dane. He goes after Ed Pop counterculture a fair bit as well.
I know. I pulled that down for a reason, by the way. And then
Yeah, Bob, you dumb bitch.
actual Phantom threatened to punch me. I'm like, no, I didn't. There was nothing like it's just not what happened.
Oh, he didn't? He didn't threaten to punch me?
Never.
Huh. I kind of remember that just, maybe this
Take him at
event
his word.
actually
Kind of looks like
happened.
the douchebag friend from every slacker stoner movie or something.
Handsome.
I don't know. I want to hit him. I want to hit him.
Oh,
I see what you're looking
Oh,
at.
this is when he was talking about our questions.
And then let's see. The most I think bad faith one is patterns are racist, and saying that we are saying that patterns are racist when we were clearly saying that, like, we were actually saying that no, we don't just call everybody racist who says something that's gonna, like, that we actually look at patterns of behavior and claims and stuff, and like in the context of what kind of patterns is relevant there. And yet these people
Racist
frame it
patterns.
as, they just say patterns are racist. Like,
Yeah, all patterns are racist. I look at a quilt and I'm like, that's a pattern. That's racist.
Oh, Bob. I think Bob's funny sometimes.
How do you know that these people are this and that? And it's like you just have to look at the patterns and kind of take a bit more bird's eye view, because they want us to look at example after example, because they can argue against each example. They can have an excuse for each singular example, right? But you look at the pattern of content and it tells a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely.
So you essentially said racist.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I had like a 3-hour debate with Bob about the patterns. I feel like if you have any question on what my intention was, like, definitely check that out.
You had a 45-minute debate
I don't know
with Bob about patterns. I think 2 hours and 15 minutes
Fair
of it was
enough.
just the same thing.
Hide and seek.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what you'd call that, but I just like now I'm gonna step over here
around the Bobby.
Keep sidestepping. But yeah, obviously I don't think every pattern is racist or anything like that, but I don't understand why these guys would use that as their standard, and that's what I tried to find out. Like, what is the utility of it? I don't see it. I feel like you could literally label anybody with this pattern as opposed to actually having to show some sort of evidence. And, you know, it just seems dishonest. I could use this pattern on them, and that's what I showed Bob in that thing. And, you know, you could definitely call that bad faith if you want to. I said, this is why I don't think it's fair. I don't think this is accurate, but you could do this. I use it as a demonstration. But, yeah, I don't know. I still don't understand. So, Dane, I will send you an email. I will tell you that I don't understand the utility of using a pattern as opposed to strong evidence, and I assume you will never get back to me because you are too afraid. But, again, we don't ever have to talk, but since you claimed that you definitely want to talk to people if they can make a case through email, all right, let it be said, I am sending you an email, sir.
Fair enough.
I expect no response, and if you don't talk about us, we won't talk about you. Okay. Going on.
Patterns are racist, and they were just like, "Ha!
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I am very intelligent."
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, like the whole thing was set up with that stupid issue with like, oh, we need to come together and have a debate.
That is
And so I'm like, okay, these are bad faith people. Again, not mentioning that have had
we need to come together and have a debate. That was not what it is. And, some of his fans kind of came to us in the comment section as well, so that we weren't owed a conversation. Nobody thought that we were owed a conversation.
No.
Like, I thought he was going to say no when you said, hey, I'm actually DMing him. It seems like he's open to a conversation. I was like, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, and again, there's a whole...
Then he actually, responded to you.
There's a whole video.
He gave you some parameters, and I was like, that's never going to happen. No way.
No.
And then he kind of responded positive
you were right,
to that.
though.
And I finally fell for it.
Yeah.
But, I just thought along the way, no way. Well, you know what? He's actually going on with this. Okay. He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, and
to the point where we even kind of defended him in a, again, you can see it in the other video, but in an Adam and Sitch chat. And, I just feel bad for that because he was not genuine. He is not open for conversation, and he keeps framing it as we are owed a debate or something. First off, I didn't have to be there. It was a conversation that you asked him, hey, would you be willing to have a conversation? I'd like to understand. And he seemed receptive to it.
Yep.
This is just so disingenuous that he would just lie like this, especially when the proof is literally out there.
And and he tries to frame it too like I was like, well, we'll do this on Gray's channel, and none of your friends can be there, and you better meet us behind the building by yourself. Like, it wasn't like that at all. It was like, do you want to do it on like your channel? Do you want to do it on Dane's? Do you want to do it on Gray's?
Yeah.
And it was like,
well, I know you only offered mine because you didn't have a channel at the time, and you didn't want to be like, you must let me on your channel to talk.
Yeah.
Like, that seems pretty. You mentioned like we could do it on anyone's channel, we could do it on his channel, we could do it on your channel.
I was trying to make it as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
We've already beat this horse, but he'll continue to frame this like it was some kind of nefarious thing. And maybe I'm still YouTube and Twitter naive, but I really genuinely wanted to bridge the gap. Well, I thought
everyone else we've met so far has been pretty cool and pretty genuine. I'm not saying that, we're not going to deal with some nefarious people. Like, obviously it's YouTube. It's like real life. There are weirdos out there.
No, but
he seemed genuine. Like, you've seen his videos. Yeah. He comes off pretty genuine in a lot of his things. It's like, okay. It seems like he wants to show understanding. Well, this is a way that, we could come to an understanding.
What really upset me was that it was all going back and forth on like a Twitter thread, which, we go over, and I won't go into it too deep. But what really upset me was that he was under the impression that I was just like coming at him in a bigoted way, like everybody, I guess, he feels interacts with him. And he was saying it like, oh, you have a problem because I'm gay. And I'm like, no, dude, like, and I was really upset that he thought that automatically me just engaging with him meant I had an issue because he was gay. And that's what started the whole, maybe we should talk and I said no debate and he agreed because, debates you are automatically, you're going in because you're arguing your side. I'm like, no, let's not do that. And I was just so put off that I know me, I'm whatever, but I'm a decent guy. I'm not going to judge people by who they want to have sex with. I don't care. Fuck whoever you want. But it bothered me so much.
I know he did the same thing about me too, like the framing that like I have a problem with him because he's gay. It's like, no, it's because I think you're being very closed-minded and you're judging people
and
based off of I think incorrect information.
Yeah, and I saw an exchange with him and somebody else 2 weeks after the initial DMs where I had said like, oh well, let's not, he's like, I'm busy this month. It was Pride Month. I was like, yeah, I would assume you have a lot of content you want to put out. and somebody else was like making fun of him because that Melanie Mac video where he sits and eats all the McDonald's for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It was gross. But somebody's like, ew, you fat fuck. Like, why are you gonna just sit and stuff McDonald's in your fat fucking face for 2 hours? Like, don't you have any fucking pride? And he's like, what, you have a problem with the way a gay man eats McDonald's? And I read it and I was like, is he fucking serious? Like, how do you get
what
gay?
What part of this has to do with gay?
Yeah. Is McDonald's gay?
I just think it's highly caloric, and
you just look like
perhaps it's not setting a good example with just
you look like an animal.
The mass intake of. Yeah,
you look like everything.
I mean, come on, that's
America.
a lot of carbs.
No, but it wasn't like it, and
that is weird.
I read that, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, is this guy? So it wasn't me. It wasn't like something I said that made him think like I was checking myself, and that was the big motivation for the conversation, like the misconceptions. And I was like, does this mean when I talk, maybe I do have these unconscious bias that Dane refers to all the time, where I don't even know that I'm being bigoted when I talk. So I was really kind of like, looking inward. And but then the more I saw, I was like, wait, there's something not right. This guy thinks everybody has a problem with him because he's gay. Maybe it's just because you're a fucking asshole who lies. Could that be why people have a problem with you? I mean,
it's a really good hypothesis. I think perhaps he should look into that a little bit
look
more.
Inward.
Yeah,
stop looking in the bag of McDonald's and look inward.
That's true, and I think the other thing that people were digging him on is he also had the McDonald's delivered. If you're getting fast food,
now I want McDonald's
delivery with it. But yeah, I guess that's not my place to judge.
He wants to fucking eat himself to death. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. But it's not because you're gay. It's just because you're fat.
No, yeah. I mean, that is definitely a choice. I don't know about the,
Yeah, he didn't have a choice to be
persuasion.
gay. He's got a choice to be fat,
that
though.
might be, yes, that is the thing that I was saying was a choice. I just wanted to make that clear.
Actions with other people within our podcast. And I thought it was only fair, if I was going to even consider talking with them, that I share the topics with the other people who have also had interactions with them, so they would know what we were talking about.
Which I wouldn't have a problem with.
Okay. That doesn't sound super unreasonable.
No,
I
that
assumed
makes sense.
that he would run them by all of them, right? I'm sure you did too.
I assumed he
Like, when
needed
you
permission
sent him
from
the-
his dad, from Dane. He needed permission from the puppet master to do something without Dane allowing him.
You're doing it
That he
and I thought it was only fair, if I was going to even consider talking with them, that I share the topics with the other people who have also had interactions with them, so they would know what we were talking about. That was the entire premise of it, because I felt like they were doing it in bad faith. I didn't want to walk into something.
Fair enough.
Oh, so he just assumed bad faith of us. Okay, that sucks.
Well, we already established
I
that's what he
assumed
sees in everything.
He would have. Yeah, and I think we even talked about this when you said that you were going to send these questions to him. I was like, okay, I assume he's going to send the questions to Dane and probably let everybody else in the initiative know about it. Fair enough. I didn't think he would share it with like a Discord server. Apparently,
No,
that seems like a bridge too far. But I think also then taking it onto a live stream, reading it out to everybody, mocking it with 2 additional friends.
That was a McDonald's
that seems a
too
bit
far.
And I tried to point this out to DJ Eric in the comments to a short that he put out, that somebody left him a comment. He thought that this person obviously came from us. If you want to check it out, go look on DJ Eric's shorts. I think it's AirrickDebunks.
AirrickDebunks.
Don't go there.
Go give him a sub.
Any hate.
Do not harass.
Like he doesn't deserve that. But if you do want to see his response to that, I didn't feel like clipping a short. But you can go ahead and go see that. It is also lies, but he kind of accuses this guy of being like from us and going over there just to start drama and saying that he's lying, that no DMs were leaked. Anyway, in the comments, I kept going back and forth with him, and magically my comments are all gone now. You can still see replies to me from Eric, but you can't see any of my comments. He did leave up Patrick's, which are quite great. We may actually have those later. Okay. Yeah, so under DJ Eric's short where he was talking, you happen to he happened to mention that he didn't share any of the DMs, and he mentioned a few other things that he did or did not do. Again, you can kind of see his response to me under there. But you can't see my response. I'm just gone. That seems a little strange. And I think you had a pretty good, excuse me, not trying to skip ahead on these, but randomly did. I thought you had a pretty good response on this one. Yeah,
because in this,
you're correct. That's not what you did.
In this one, he had actually just. I just want to say before he does a little short and says, Patrick is so bad because he put out all these DMs and sharing my personal information, and I would never do that, and I wouldn't air Patrick's dirty laundry. And like, number one, motherfucker, I don't have any dirty laundry for you to spread around, and two, you're admitting that you had dirty laundry.
Yeah, and I was not as nice in this response as you were, but it did take me out of this, and I just realized now that I didn't actually grab your whole response here. It looks like I didn't full screen your first one, but we get the sentiment that you're correct. That's not what you do. You just share an entire conversation and questions I made that you approved with your friends so they could mock them, and then double down and not admit that. I know you went on a little bit further, but you were actually pretty diplomatic. I was not. I was a dick, and I said, this is completely, I think I said this is 100% a lie. I wish I had my response because it was a little bit more vitriolic than yours. I straight on call him out that no, the questions that you submitted to him were in a DM, and he shared that with his friend to mock on a stream.
And now we know he shared it in Discord.
Him sharing DMs. Yeah, and apparently he shared it through Discord too, and he didn't mention DMs again. So I'm assuming that means that he shared it with many people. So then he went on to say, "Great Poupée, so fuck me then, write me off. Talk about me in your videos, won't ever talk about me again." Oh, and sorry, he did respond with I didn't share the conversations with him. That's when I called him a liar. So then he responded to me. You can see his response, but mine is magically gone. I did respond to him again that I never said fuck you. I never wrote you off. I just think that this 100% demonstrates your unwillingness to have a conversation with Patrick, and that you were 100% in the wrong.
Yeah,
and he couldn't take that or take other people seeing it. So
and then I wrote in there. I think you owe me an apology. Why don't you create one of those shorts you like so much and actually be decent for once in this situation, and we could start there.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. That seems like the decent thing to do. And then there was another guy who this original short was actually two who kind of said this thing. Again, if you're going to go there, don't harass him or anything like that. But you can definitely watch his short if you want the full context. I didn't feel like grabbing it, but do not harass him or anything like that. But yeah, so this was Matt Tat. He has an awesome name, but I feel like every time I read it wrong. But yeah, he said involved as in involved with us. He's not. We don't actually know the guy. He was just saying, I watched the video where you said you'd be interested in a discussion, and that turn passed over. I should have grabbed some of his, but it was mainly your response to it. I believe I also had a response under this one, but it's also gone.
Yeah.
So now you can only see you and
something fishy was going on there with these, because the whole reason that I he said he says to this guy in the short, he's like, "Oh, so you're involved in the drama, I see." Like I said before, it's
exactly.
not
like he's involved with us instead of this dude asking a question.
Just
like,
another guy.
Hey, these guys seem like they wanted to talk. What's going on?
And no, go ahead.
Yeah, so he says, "Sure, I love to hear the details of a private conversation from people who have not trash talked over the issue," which it seems like there's a little bit of attitude going on in that one, just a little bit. So then you had a response to
because I had thought there was some fuckery afoot, and I don't know if it was YouTube, and I don't know, the short wasn't showing up, and I was looking for this one comment, so I wrote, "Wow, taking down shorts now to cover your tracks, DJ? Dude, just apologize and we can move on."
And then DJ Eric comes back in and says, "I didn't take down any shorts. What are you talking about?"
And I said, "Oh, my mistake. I apologize for the misunderstanding. See, that's what people do when they're wrong. Now you try."
That is awesome, and that's a very classy response. I highly condone your snarkiness there in the best possible way. I really dig that. I know I definitely did not go that high of ground in my comments with him. That's probably why mine got bad. I mean, I wasn't, like giving any sort of slurs. I wasn't swearing at him, but I was just calling him like 100% a lie. This is what happened. He didn't want that story actually told. Instead, he wants to keep with his narrative that, you know, you just wanted to debate, where I kept pointing out he didn't say debate.
never said
You guys
debate.
agreed to a conversation. You told him he needed to give you questions ahead of time. You approved those questions, and then you shared it with your friend to mock on a live stream, even though it was a DM to you. You have no leg to stand on. You were a liar here. I stand by all of that.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And I mean,
prove me wrong on any of that, DJ Eric, but you know that you can't. It's they were DM'd to you. You shared them with Dane. That's sharing a DM.
and you shared them in the Discord.
Yeah, that seems really messed up, man. It's, you know,
I mean,
it's a real miss on a conversation that could have possibly
It
brought
could-
about
it
some
could have been
understanding. I feel like that's a real loss.
I mean, it's just really like, fine, you didn't want to have the conversation. Fine, you were a fucking dickhead and you fucking gave the questions to Dane and shared them with everybody in Discord. Fine. Like, I guess that's like a shitty move, but I can kind of see like, okay, we're not their friends, you know? Fine.
Yeah.
But then to just continuously double down and try to paint me as some kind of like bigot or bad guy, bad faith actor. Like, if you're going to do this fucking shit and you're going to lie and you're going to try to gaslight everybody, you know, which is easy to do when you delete every fucking video you're involved in. But if you're going to try to do that, you know, just walk away at a certain point. Just be like, all right, I'm not touching this. Like, but no, oh no, Patrick, I'm not airing Patrick's dirty laundry. Well, Patrick's dirty laundry. Where's my fucking dirty laundry? What dirty laundry do I have?
I hate the fact that like they're trying to say that like you somehow leaked the DMs, where it's like, hey, assholes, you leaked an entire document that was given to you in DMs. He just leaked the page after, where you agreed to like,
where you said, oh, these are great.
I will accept these questions. Well, I think first you showed like, I need the questions ahead of time. Oh yeah, these questions look good. We'll talk about this later. That's all that it said. There was like nothing like damning in there other than the fact that it shows that they're liars.
Yeah,
That,
and by the way, you know,
it was a DM and they said okay to this. We just need to wait, and you
and again,
erasable. You didn't demand a conversation.
Erasable history.
He could have said no at any point.
Erasable history was that he was on a stream with Dane. Dane said, "Hey, I'm going to use those questions that fucking asshole gave you, and we're going to make fun of them." Oh, cool, yeah, fuck that guy. And then, whoa, oh god, there's a stream with Dane making fun of the questions for fucking 3 hours with a couple of weirdos, and then I put out a tweet that with that tiny little snippet that said you approved them. That's the only part I included was that he said, "Good questions, man. I can't wait to have this fucking conversation with you." And I'm the asshole. It's like, no, man, you did all this shit. And I was like, wait, no, this shows that you're lying. Oh my God, you fucking sick bastard. How dare you share those DMs? Like, no, I was just showing that you're a fucking liar.
Zero responsibility for sharing the questions to be mocked on a stream.
Yeah, you're a liar.
No, we're not going to discuss that at all. I'm not going to take ownership for that. Just you are bad for sharing that I agreed to these questions being acceptable.
And
I don't know.
And I still stand with, you know, I'm that sick bastard glutton for punishment that I always give people the benefit of the doubt. But I still stand by. You guys want us to stop talking about this stuff? You got one of two options now. You can stop talking about us or have a fucking conversation with us. Maybe try that, you know?
Yeah.
Not Dane, because you know what, Dane, you're a fucking punk. But like, you know, Bob, I'd love to talk to Bob about movies. I really don't want to talk to Bob about politics. I'd love to talk to Ed about movies and TV. Ed did if anybody didn't see it, and I swear if anybody fucking makes fun of it, I'm going to be pissed off. Ed did a pilot, and somebody told me about it, and I watched it the other morning. It was really fucking good. It's like one of his first videos. Yeah, it's like a half hour long, and I mean it's low budget, and I think it's obviously meant to be that way. But it was pretty good. Nice. I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff. And you know, and DJ, I don't know, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you really fucked yourself over on this. You know, if you wanted to paint anybody in a bad light, you did it to yourself on this one. But you know,
I think you definitely did paint somebody in a bad light.
I have like this much left in me where I'd be like, yeah, I'll have a conversation with you. But
it's really big of you. I just don't see him as a genuine person anymore.
He's not, but I still want to believe.
I think he is just a liar. I just don't see him. Everything that I've seen him go on is super. I don't know. I don't want to just say disingenuous, but it seems like he'll talk to you and say one thing, but it appears to be a complete lie. From everything that he's saying, to an actual crowd, it seems to be completely different. So
yeah, I mean,
don't know.
I have this whole thing.
It doesn't seem consistent to me.
I have this whole thing where like whatever I say behind the scenes is probably something I'm going to say in front of the camera as well, because I don't ever want to be caught in a situation where I'm fucking saying something and then somebody be like, oh my God, that's not, you're fake. You know, you said this shit. No, like I try to stay pretty consistent because, I mean, obviously there's some conversations that are not meant for the camera, but, you know, stay consistent, stay true to yourself, and don't try to gaslight people when there's fucking proof of you lying. You know, like just don't be a fucking idiot. Like had he never said anything and just been like, oh, fuck it. Dane took the questions. I don't know. I would have been like, all right, yeah, okay.
Yeah. He took the questions. I felt on the spot. I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't know. If he even said, you know, you're right, I didn't look at it that way. Fair enough. Like, it would be shitty to do, to not kind of think of how that would come off. But fair enough. That would be taking some responsibility.
Even if he said, fuck you guys, I don't like you, so I took the questions and I gave them to Dane, I'd have been like, well, fuck you too. But like, at least it would have been the truth.
You lied and you released the DMs, Patrick. You were the bad person here.
Which, by the way, the DM was released.
You did so much bad.
After the video, the stream. Oh, yeah. The 3-hour stream of Dane and his fucking weirdo friends. Made fun of the entire
questions and, read your DM live. That seems a little shitty. So but you did have that one tweet, so bad.
One tweet.
Bad Patrick.
One tweet with my 45 followers and DJ. And you.
But again, you know, power dynamics, they do matter. Just
they're allowed to punch up. Why aren't we allowed to punch up?
I don't know.
People
I don't know.
Punching up.
Yeah, right. History, but
yeah,
I know I wasn't as diplomatic as Patrick was there. I basically called him a liar. That no, these were sent to you in DMs. You shared DMs. I don't know. Maybe he sees some distinction that if it's sent in a document in DMs, it's fine. But you know, if I sent a picture in a DM, then is it fine to share that? Because you know, it's not an actual DM. It's not a direct message. It's a picture sent through direct message. I don't know. It just seems like a really shitty justification.
And I think
I don't know what leg he has to stand on here.
He doesn't. But I think it's also funny with these guys how it's always Dane does this often too, and Eric DJ does it in that short about that guy, and he's like, oh, so you're involved in the drama as well, and to this rando Matt something or other, and
he seems like a based fella.
Yeah, it seemed great. Like just join the club over here, but I just think it's funny, and I think I commented on it, but I said like DJ, I have no fucking idea who this guy is. Like, I don't know. Like, you guys realize that you're fucking on YouTube, right? Like, people are going to watch these things and comment, and multiple people that don't know each other all think you guys are assholes. So, like, maybe, you know, maybe stop thinking that it's a conspiracy, that there's a group. There's no initiative on this side. Well, you know, we're not the fucking Legion of Doom. We're, you know, Gray and I are friends, and we have some friends on here, but there's also people we don't know that think you guys are fucking liars. So, like,
not just some people. There appears to be quite a few, and quite a few different communities. Like ones
in their own communities,
absolutely nothing to do with. Yeah, it is quite weird. He has enemies everywhere, so to speak.
Amongst him, though, too.
But there seems to be one commonality between all of these fractions, if you will. I don't know. It always seems to be Dane being an asshole and alienating people. It would appear so. So.
We should do like a montage of all the people that Dane has like left behind.
Ooh, in Dane's wake.
Forgotten souls of Dane's friendships. You know, like
in memoriam.
Like when they have like in like a thing where it's like, you know, they show like the image of the person and like, you know, the dates they were with us.
Ooh, it would be hard to track down all that, especially the dates.
Everything,
you know, everything's all hidden now.
And with everything hidden. It's almost like it's starting to come together why Dane hides everything. I used to think it was like to fuck with us directly, not us, but like people like us. But now I have a combination of thoughts where one, I think it's like he likes to not show how many views he's actually getting. I think he also likes to get rid of things so you can't actually call him out on things he said. You know, like he's hiding what he said. Like if everybody knew what he was talking about all the time and had the backstory to him, nobody would fucking follow him unless it was just to be like, you're an asshole, which is probably like 70% of his subs anyway.
I think so. I think there's a lot of hate watchers in there. But I don't know. Again, there's just one common link to all of this.
Yeah. They'll all figure it out eventually. One bad apple.
like that I didn't know what I was getting into. So I was kind of protecting myself. And immediately after that happened, there was all these calls to harass me and attack me and make content about me. And I'm like, so this is literally what they wanted from the beginning. Like going into this would have just
all these calls.
So that's probably me that he's talking about. All right.
Who did you tell?
I probably should have had this in different order, but
it's all right. We'll get there.
Here we go. So again, we talked about this in that last one where, so below was the screenshot of your DMs. You sent me this, which, tagged me in it, which was like, great, can you believe this shit? So then this was my response to it, that, you and DJ Eric wouldn't even have a conversation after he approved the conversation and the questions as a jumping off point. And I tagged somebody else in it. Now, who could possibly be under the, what would you say? Who would operate such a wonderful Twitter handle as
the man behind the
Elf?
mask?
Who could possibly want to collect all the negative information that could possibly be out there on the Fandom Initiative? Well, it just so happens that, it has been brought to my attention that is also owned by the Fandom Initiative, and probably one member in specific. I don't have proof that they registered it, but, I have a very, very high percentage of likelihood that we can all guess who owns that. And that's why I tagged that one person in there. Also because I can't tag them in another way.
Yeah.
So I did include that. So if he means that is some sort of call to, harass him or whatever.
And let me be clear here.
That
if
could
you
be
were
me.
someone who was going after DJ for that, instead of, it's because you're doing it because I don't give a fuck enough to respond.
That sounds like you're responding right now, and you did an entire stream about those questions. So I feel like we did respond.
That's adorable.
You just showed my entire thumbnail at the time and mentioned my subscriber count. It feels like you are talking about me, which I don't necessarily appreciate, Dane. But I will call you out as well. That was very scummy of you to do that. But I thought better of Eric than to allow you to do that and then to justify the fact that happened. And then now it's Patrick's fault that this conversation won't happen. Instead of taking responsibility of, yes, what I did was fucked up and that's why this conversation isn't happening. I'm sure if he did that to you, we'd be in a different place. But he didn't. Instead, he blamed you for leaking that one DM that like, well, now I can't trust you. It's like, bitch, you just let Dane leak all of these DM'd questions and do an entire stream with two of his friends to mock it in front of, who knows, the internet. It could live on in, perpetuity.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. It just seems super disingenuous to not be like, yeah, I can see how that would upset you. And that would be the reason why you did this.
And what kind of,
that is my bad.
What kind of fucking narcissistic cocksucker is like, well, he's going to DJ clearly because I don't give a fuck about him, and and I don't. You did a 2.5 hour stream on my fucking questions. What are you talking about? You fucking went out of your way when I didn't involve him in any of this. I didn't say, hey, do you want to get Dane? I said Bob or Ed or somebody. I'm like, I didn't want Dane anywhere near this because I knew he would fucking try to ruin it. Like, but we knew it would get to him, but I didn't invite him. Like, how fucking how self-fucking absorbed do you have to be where he's like, oh, I wouldn't answer him, so I answered him. Like, get the
it's not about you, Dane.
Yeah,
it's
not
about
everything
the
is about
disappointment
Dane.
that we feel with DJ Eric. Like, we thought he was a better person than that.
Yeah.
It's really shitty. I didn't realize that he was so much down the Dane rabbit hole.
If anything,
you have influenced him.
If I could say, in I guess a good faith framing of Dane's point of view on this, if anything, maybe I was hoping that we would have that conversation with the questions with Eric, and that maybe that Eric would then go back to them and say hey, these guys aren't actually like those other guys that we talk about a lot. These guys are a little bit different. Maybe we're missing out on friendships or collaboration that we could be having. Maybe that's the extent of what I thought as far as trying to get to Dane. But even then, I didn't really necessarily mean Dane because Dane's a fucking asshole. I really wouldn't want to talk to Dane for 2 hours.
I heard you when you kind of mentioned that before. I don't know. Maybe I'm just pessimistic, but I think there is no way to get through to Dane. I mean,
No.
I know you mentioned it quite a few times that you keep giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I think that's just too much. You saw what Dane did before when he invited you on the stream. You guys seem to have like a pretty pleasant conversation, and then you mentioned nothing about race. And again, viewers, you will see this coming up in the near future. We do have the footage now, but it is going to take a little while to break down. It is it's quite a girthy backstory. But yeah. In there, you can see that he's willing to have a conversation, and then immediately the second it's over, frame it as now you're racist and just cut you off completely. With that, I couldn't see him ever wanting to change. I don't know. To me, he's willing to come up with any sort of excuse to be able to write somebody off, and then they are just written off. They are an enemy. You don't have to deal with them. You don't have to take them seriously. No engagement.
I think it's funny because that's
kind of how I view him.
Yeah. Andrew was saying the other day in a chat, Andrew Clark, which, by the way, check out Andrew's channel. It's excellent.
Yes.
He was saying, he's like, I think Patrick's the only one I've ever seen actually debate Dane. Like, wait,
yeah.
Really?
Well, I think your conversation is the reason why he won't let anyone on anymore. I think that was the last time that he did that. He claims that he'll let people on Fridays, but I haven't seen it. Not. Yours was that last thing. And, I think he got lucky in a couple of his other previous conversations with people, and I think you and perhaps a couple other ones showed him that, he can't actually engage. Instead, if he just stays in his echo chamber, he can preach to the choir, and you know, he comes off sounding really good compared to if he actually had to engage. I do believe he's afraid of that, and that is why I have titled our thumbnails in such a fashion.
Yeah.
I do think Dane is a coward.
Oh, absolutely.
That being said, I don't think everybody should be written off on here. I think Bob possibly could actually engage with people.
Yeah.
I thought better of DJ Eric up until here. I don't know. Just the way that he keeps reframing this as we lied. He doesn't seem to be taking any accountability for the actual situation.
He won't.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's actually going to, if he is reachable. I have seen Bob actually engage with what's being said at certain times. I have definitely seen Eric do it too, so I have hope for them.
Well, it's funny.
Dane, I have only seen reframe things.
It's funny with Bob.
I don't know about him
because Bob, you've seen it occasionally. Like he was supposed to have that. I think he was supposed to go on Sitch and Adam solo, and Dane couldn't allow that. And then, he had that debate with Nerdette, and anybody who was in that chat would know that Dane was in that chat.
Was there.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Dane was in that chat. Like,
it was that whole tag me in, bro. Tag me in.
Say this now. Fuck.
Send me the link. You gotta send me the link.
Like, what happened? Where were you fucking forever, dude? Just fucking set up a debate with somebody, talk to somebody, have a conversation with somebody. No, he can't because he just needs.
I don't think he could.
Yeah. That's why, honestly, if all these guys just all of a sudden were like, you know what, I don't want to fucking stream with Dane anymore. Dane would fucking fade out of existence by tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah, I know there's it is weird because there is the whole puppet rumor, but then it's weird that Bob as a puppet is more popular than Dane. I don't know
because he's better. He's better than Dane is.
Coattails argument.
I don't think he has.
For sure.
I don't think he has good arguments, but he's clearly passionate and believes what he's saying. So I always say when I've seen stuff of Bob's when before he got involved with Dane, and it was really good stuff. He was always talking about media, always talking about movies, always talking about TV, never all this bullshit. And then as soon as he got involved with this fucking asshole, it was like, and then all of a sudden he started blocking everybody, blocking comments, I think he just opened up his comment section again, but yeah,
really, nice.
But yeah, he said it in the stream. He was like, "I'm opening up my comments because even if you guys are assholes, leave a comment because it helps me." So respect to Bob.
Well, fair enough.
But these guys
I used to like his versus series where he would have one movie or franchise versus another.
Right.
And it's fair enough. There was a couple of them that kind of made me think. I know I was checking out some of his content before I had a talk with him. You're right. I like some of the old content, but once he just got overtly political, it just, I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan of what he does now, but I hope he gets back to some of the stuff.
Yeah, me too. He will eventually. Eventually, Dane will fucking burn out.
Yeah.
He'll move on to somebody else.
But yeah, that's true. Like a vampire or a succubus, whatever.
And and that's fucked up. DJ didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. If you think that he shared some fucking DMs or something, he didn't. However, one of the guys involved with it did share DMs from
publicly. And the other person tagged other accounts to try and get people to harass me without ever even asking me what happened.
Yep.
They never even contacted me and said, hey, what happened in this situation? They immediately went online, screenshotted DMs, which I would never do to anyone, shared them publicly on Twitter, even though they didn't contain anything bad, and then started tagging people to try and incentivize them to harass me.
And
again, I tagged one person, Initiative L's, who, well, I don't have like 100% proof. I don't have the back, like, you know, whatever you want to call it, paperwork on the back end to prove who owns that.
Right.
Come on, who do you think is so obsessed with the initiative that they would want to actually have a, you know, what would you call it, anti-fan for their own channel? You know, a
posting
rip-reverse
like,
goalpost, if you will.
Yeah, he doesn't need that really, you know, because everybody thinks he's an asshole naturally. Like it is.
Dane
it's
has me
Dane.
blocked, so I put Dane on here that way because I know this is his other secret account.
Yeah.
So I don't know for DJ Eric to say this. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Hey, if I magically get blocked from the Initiative L's, you will now know why.
Sure.
But yeah, so this is how we tagged everybody else to come and harass him. First off, Initiative L's is Dane. It is the initiative.
Yeah.
That's the only person I tagged in it. We knew that we were just talking with them. It was just, hey, this is really bullshit. We see this. I wonder if Dane knows why there's a sudden change of heart.
Yeah, and again, don't try to act like you and I have
because
like
that's literally all
thousands of followers. I think we have like 150 between the two of us on Twitter. You know?
If even that, yeah. Like it's not. We don't have a huge Twitter following. Like surprisingly, YouTube is going better than Twitter.
I know.
Hey, if you want to follow platforms, we usually don't tweet that much, but Patrick's got some bangers out there. So
yeah, I like to throw
find this guy.
I like to throw some zingers.
But yeah, anyway, these guys.
Look, even their comments their comments are framed shitty. I can't think of anything flakier than calling cis a slur. So I don't know. Maybe if you first off, the title of the video is cis a slur, and if you watched it, you find out that we all think it's not a slur. We just think it's fucking stupid. So.
Yeah, and there is actually quite a nuanced position.
Yeah.
I think your position was the most nuanced. It's made me think the most. Like you're right. Like, do we have to call regular Coke cis Coke, or you know, do we just call Diet Coke Diet Coke?
You don't say, "Do I want to not?"
You know, I've
Diet
definitely
Coke.
heard that said. That's definitely the argument that's kind of stuck with me, and it's like, you know, you're right. We do have a word to differentiate that. That would be trans. You know, trans woman. To me, that kind of makes sense. So it's like, you know, I don't know that we necessarily need that cis differentiation, but I don't know. I'd be open to a conversation, but I guess we won't have that because, you know, you wouldn't want to have understanding. Well, it's not
they can do. They have no talent. They have nothing, you know, of value to say except to deflect, you know, for I guess bigger channels is what it seems
projecting
like.
Much
against very small, like we're insignificant.
Hey, wait. Is that
just you know, because they're probably definitely going to watch this and make content out of it because that's literally all they can do. They have no talent. They have nothing, you know, of value to say except to deflect, you know, for
bigger, meaty-breasted
bigger
ass
channels is what it seems like. Against very small, like we're insignificant compared to the channels that we talk about typically, like in terms of sheer numbers. But these guys have nothing else.
Well, I guess we're also small and insignificant compared to the channels that we're talking about. I mean, Bob has like 26K or something like that. I think Eric, DJ Eric, I think his other channel has like, I don't know, it's a bunch of thousands.
Sure.
I think the one who has the lowest is actually Actual Fandom, who has instilled the thousands.
Like 6,000 or something? Turf just hit 10,000.
Yeah, congrats.
10,000 organically grown subs.
Yeah, definitely not astroturfed at all. Yeah, congrats. But yeah, that definitely seems legit. But again, if it's you as smaller channels going after these big channels, why would it not be okay for us as a small channel to go after these bigger channels that we disagree with? What seems to be wrong there? Isn't what we're doing? You would almost
think that he'd be
kind
like,
of what
"Oh,
you're
I get what
doing,
you guys
only
are doing."
to Eric July. Yeah.
Right.
I would argue that, we're actually bringing the receipts, though, and we're looking for understanding where you guys are telling them, don't watch the original content. If you do watch it, it'll get in your algorithm, so you need to get these special blockers to block them, to block a bunch of other channels, and then just only watch our coverage of it because we will give you the correct perspective. Tune back into us and only us. That seems to be what I'm hearing. I don't know, man. That sounds a little sus to me. All right. But, I guess, we're wrong for going after these smaller channels who are, again, much bigger than us. Okay.
Well, nobody's ever accused Dana having a double standard. So.
No, nobody would want to do that.
And really, reconsider your lives, guys. It's pretty pathetic. So,
yeah, I've already made it clear.
My life's pretty good.
Okay, let's reconsider.
To interact with them anymore. That whole thing came across like I was sort of considering it, like, okay, well, maybe things are different. But then, after looking at it, I'm like, nah, we're not going to do this.
True. Some people like their emotional intelligence kind of like just maxed out at like 13 years old.
Fair enough.
True.
I think we're looking at a couple of them right now.
Right, Dane. Some people have. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, like people who fucking dress
Charles,
up as Captain America.
It's a little, it's probably inappropriate. But you had I saw a clip that somebody tagged me in that tried to get me mad at you, and I was mad at you. I was really mad at you about your comedy routine because you came up with a term that included.
What are they talking about?
Rhymes with magnet.
I'm stealing it, and that is what I'm going to call myself from now on.
I track a lot of gay men, not gay. Apparently, I'm a faggot. I attract a lot of gay guys. I'm not gay. Apparently, I'm a faggot. I know. I guess they see my ears and they think handlebars. I'll let you soak it in.
Looks like a burn victim.
They're pretty big. I was like, okay, that's a great.
It's an old clip, DJ. I haven't used it.
Big A.
Oh, I was totally joking. I'm not.
Oh, okay. So if it's old, then it's just fine on his side. But again, they're looking back a whole long time on a bunch of these people that they're going after, and they're not saying that somebody could have changed if they're not currently doing something. Yeah, their pattern includes past behavior, but, they're going to go ahead and not do that for WILIscredia, which, that seems a little
maybe Will has a,
to me.
Maybe CP has
I actually thought it was funny, and I'm like...
Think he's got one of those shields?
Fair enough. He might. I hear Dane kind of has one. Yeah, but maybe WILIscredia, Mr. CP has one. Huh. It could come in handy, I guess.
I actually was like, that's pretty clever. I've never heard that before. So,
and it's more self-derogatory too, because it's kind of a joke line that leads into me joking about how big my ears are. And
I watched the whole thing.
Big ears. That's what the joke was.
So jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that. It's a big ear joke. Okay, so they do think that some offensive jokes are just fine. That seems to be the opposite of, what Bob was talking about when I had my conversation with him. Organized chaos seemed to, he was under the under the impression that your pattern could include offensive jokes, and that even if you said an offensive joke on stage, that counted towards your pattern of behavior. And unless you currently change it and are making apologies for it, you are actually some sort of bigot. Now, he is trying to apologize to DJ, or he was.
Now,
and when DJ is cool with it, he immediately stopped and is like, "Well, it leads into this other thing." But, that didn't seem to matter when I was trying to talk to, Bob about what his standard is.
No.
Especially with, like, the Chrissy Mayer thing.
Yeah, or Dave Chappelle.
Which they have labeled. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe because Dave Chappelle's black, he wasn't allowed to make those jokes. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure their pattern out.
Yeah, they've got certain rules for certain people, which, I don't know. I guess I just don't quite understand their rules. But yeah, maybe he'll explain it here, why he's okay with this.
Yeah, let's see.
They were like, oh, you're going to be so mad. I was like, no, I'm not. Actually, I think it's clever, and I'm probably going to use it. So.
Yeah, it's also 7 years old, that clip. So
that's why they're so afraid of, like, they're afraid of, like, accepting that they might have some bigoted biases, because I think they believe that, like, that you can't change or whatever. Like, so even if you, like, for instance, DJ, I used to say, like, I've said the F slur in a like derogatory way, when I was much younger.
I'm going to say this. I'm pretty sure that every person from my generation has used that word. And
I mean,
and as long as you're not, I mean, I'm not hearing people do it now. Like if they were doing it now, I'd be like,
I used
yeah,
it 7 times before breakfast today.
People can change. You can change, even if you think that, like, so trying to use somebody's past as if, like, that's what they're held to, and even though they've clearly shown growth and they're clearly, not doing that anymore or whatever, like, it's so fucking disingenuous and lazy and just kind of stupid, and you're not gonna, it's not gonna work.
Times change. I mean,
I
Money for Nothing, hit song from the 1980s, uses the F slur.
Yeah. Like honestly though, like straight up, like I'm a product of Gen X. Like I've heard that word used all over the place. As long as you're not using it in an oppressive way, I typically don't have an issue. I wouldn't appreciate people using it now, but I thought it was a funny joke in the context, and that was a rough crowd, by the way. That was a rough crowd. That.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know that it was.
I think
a rough crowd. I think it might have been an honest crowd.
The election in 16,
yeah, it might just be that the comedian was fucking
they were
terrible.
in shock.
Yeah. We got Ryan with some context.
That's it. It was the election.
Earlier.
It was the election. CP. It wasn't your comedy.
Boys were
fucking
known as
off-putting.
knave girls, and girls were known as gay girls.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing, Charles. I am reclaiming that word, and
By all
it's
means.
going to be my word. So.
Put it on a shirt.
I'm going to reclaim the word.
Oh, that would be.
He's allowed to use it. I can use it.
I have a t-shirt press here because we sometimes make those when we go out.
Yeah, I think all is fair game.
So then,
I don't know.
Okay,
he
now
can take
for me
it
to
back,
say
and
it,
if
right?
Eric can put it on a T-shirt.
All right, then I'm going to
think
say
so.
that
I mean, right? Like equality.
I should have had a fagnet installed for my questions for Eric, and maybe it would have got him to come to the situation and answer the questions himself instead of giving them away.
Well, I have.
I probably
heard
shouldn't
that,
say it still, though.
Perhaps. Well, I don't know, because we don't.
He said he said it's okay.
Yeah, but remember, CP has that shield. Not only does he have the nickname, but he might have a card that allows him to say that. I'm not sure. Maybe if we let him explain further, we'll see why it's okay for him to say that, but nobody else.
Okay, because then I'm going to feel bad. Maybe we'll have to bleed that out.
I don't think that they would accept you. I just can't see them not using it against you as part of your pattern of behavior if you were to also say the exact same word that WILIscredia seemed to use in his act for years.
See, I can't get the rules because
that's what I tried when I was talking about.
DJ
I don't know if
never
they know the
agreed to
rules.
answer the questions, so I don't know the rules. He just likes to tell them the rules.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And you know what?
I'm going to go ahead and say I'm not going to use
know.
that term.
Like that's. Yeah, I'm assuming we probably shouldn't. Let's err on the side of caution. Let's not.
Okay.
Do things. So I will press a shirt with it and have it on. I'll take a picture of it and put it on.
Yeah, make one for me with just like 2 ears on the end of the word.
So, all right, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to everybody later.
Take care.
Later. Yeah, Monster Squad uses it. There's actually George
Carlin said it about people who ride their bicycles. Like again, we progress, we evolve.
It might.
Over
It's been
time,
forever
and we
since I've
find
seen
out,
that movie.
This isn't the right thing.
I think it does.
It's like why, like suddenly cis is a term. I don't remember using the term cisgender 20 years ago, but
it's
I got
only
out of my
or 5.
It's only been around like used in that context, I think,
Mm-hmm.
since the 70s, and it started being used, I think, heavily in like 1994, more heavily.
Heavily in 1994.
That is wrong, Dane.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
Try it was invented. I could pull up the thing again, but
it was the mid 90s.
It was
but nobody was
actually
fucking
invented
using it.
in the 90s. Yeah, and it was not immediately used in the 90s. It has slowly ramped up since then. But again, it
until
kind of
somebody
feels like
decided to
if you're
use it as
going
a fuck
to
you.
put this label on everybody, perhaps they should have some sort of say in it. Again, why wouldn't the other just be, woman and then trans woman? It feels like you do have something that would be.
Yeah, it goes back to like when Eric and I, DJ, and I originally got into our back and forth was over the word cis well before the Elon Musk said cis is a slur on this platform. And I had said to him, I said, you're calling this guy a cis, and he's kind of telling you, look, don't call me that. I don't want to be called that. And you're telling him, too bad you don't like language. I'm like, what if you went to a trans person and said, oh, you're a man, and then the trans person said, no, I identify as a woman, and the guy's like, well, too bad you don't like language, and that's kind of this. I'm like, it just is not. If somebody doesn't want to be called something, don't call them that. How fucking hard is that? You guys, all they talk about is, if somebody wants to be addressed as a pronoun and their proper pronouns, then just do it. because it's a respectful thing to do, then why would you fucking call somebody something they don't want to be called? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, and I still think that that's why Elon did this in the first place, was to say, like, to get all the straight heterosexual people to be like, hey, I don't want to be called that. Don't call me that. And then
I think he wanted to draw some attention to it.
Yeah, it shows the comparison between the two. Like, oh wait, I don't want you to call me a man because I feel like I'm a woman and identify as a woman. Like, it was a way to make people understand. It's not. Just respect each other. Do the right thing by each other. Say that, respect what people want to be called, which is what these guys advocate for all the time, except if it's about,
in this one case, like, it feels like they should be able to understand that, Yeah. So I don't know. It just feels like that could be an honest conversation, but I guess we'll have to find somebody else to have that conversation with, and I look forward to having that conversation someday.
Yeah, I'm reaching out to Eric July.
It's just you.
I think he
may have a slightly different opinion than this Eric, DJ Eric. But you never know. They might actually agree. I'm not sure exactly what Eric's opinions are on everything.
No, me neither.
Cis.
It's the opposite of trans, right? So it's like transatlantic, cisatlantic. You're on this side of the Atlantic.
Right. And I just try to use it when I'm speaking to somebody who might, not be what I am. So like, it's the same thing as, what would you be preferred to call? Like, what would you prefer me to call you? Is just like,
not
how
cis.
do you identify?
It's not non-trans. The fact is they don't want discourse to be hospitable to trans people, period.
So I don't believe that they actually believe that, though. Because if you told them that you don't want to be called cis, do you think they would agree to that?
Clearly not.
I don't think they actually have a hard and fast rule with this. I think it's instead they're going to play loose with it. This is going to be anyone who has a perceived, I don't know, what would you call it, ranking in the suppression hierarchy. They can go ahead and say what you get to call them, but if you are low enough, they are the ones who get to choose what you want to be called. You don't get to choose cis.
Dane wouldn't even call me. He wouldn't even call me a human being when we first talked. He called me a Hugh being. So fucking. What's that?
I do remember that. That was a weird time. But I don't know, it just seems like a double standard to me. Hugh Bing, yes,
double
indeed.
standard Dane.
So that's why they're trying to shut down even the most basic language of identifiers to say that, because they don't believe trans people are valid. So if that's true to them, then you shouldn't call anyone cis, because that's not valid, right? So that's what it is. It's disingenuous. It's just fucking bad faith bullshit.
Yeah, my wife is queer, and she helped me with a word this week. Actually,
So that there could be Will's shield. WILIscredia, CP's shield. But what
sounds
Dane
exactly like I have a black
so
friend.
Is that your argument?
But I want to. That I want to invalidate the trans
like
people.
That. Like, no. I totally trust that you have a wife that's queer. I mean, well,
sure.
I mean, when you think about it, that does kind of make sense in a way. But back to what Dane was saying with the whole, the only reason why you don't want to be called cis is because that would then mean that trans is a thing. Is that why you would take some sort of umbrage with being called cis, or could it possibly be a different reason?
No, I mean, it's not my thing at all. I don't care. I don't care at all about that side of the.
But Dane seems so sure of himself that was the only possible option for what it would be.
It's funny that he says that, because earlier he says earlier in the video he says that the other sides aren't valid. They're not valid. But see, this is Dane's big thing. Is everything Dane says is pure projection, because he thinks everything is bad faith because he's bad faith. He thinks everything's a lie because he's a liar. He thinks that we want to invalidate trans people because he invalidates everybody else. So it's like he just tells on himself constantly.
Yeah, that does kind of make sense. I didn't clip it, but the other day he did say something about that would make somebody not human. And then like 2 seconds later, it's like, but I don't want to dehumanize somebody. Didn't really feel like clipping it, but you're right. Like, there are little tells like that. All right, let's get back to it. I'm sure he's going to, be more reasonable right here.
Of course.
Now we're getting back to CP with his wife.
The queer.
Because there was a joke made about somebody being a third partner, and they were going to be a dragon. And Usually it's Dice for full credit because my wife is 5 hours ahead of me, only for another week and a half or so. But usually I go to Dice and I'm like, what the hell? Because Dice has broken me into terminology, not just
Who's he talking
LGBTQ
about?
slang, but I was speaking.
So there's
to
another
Emily, and I was
creator
like,
who's part of
what
the
the
initiative. I've only seen this creator once on there, but it's Dice Roland is their name.
Oh, I thought he was talking about
I don't
Andrew
know.
Dice Clay.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know
I don't
too
think
much about
that's
them.
his take.
No, the Dice Man did not cometh to give him information on the LGBT community.
Well, I just thought because
I had not heard the term dragon before.
No, that's new to me too. But I thought since CP was, so tight with Patrice O'Neill and that they were best friends before his passing, that he also maybe knew Andrew Dice Clay. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, that's
CP
true.
is really
he
up there.
also is in the New York scene. That would make sense.
Sure.
I think he did have a couple run-ins with Patrice as well.
Yeah, they're on the
I
same
know they did have that Jay Moore fight up in Opie and Anthony's studio. I think Patrice was there at least one of those days. So, yeah, I think maybe WILIscredia, CP. Maybe he also knows the Dice Man.
Cool.
It's a small world, and he was
Yeah,
such
you just got cooler
besties
in my
with
book.
Patrice. Yeah, no, he was saying that he has a friend who is in the LGBT community who knows a little bit more that he can go to and ask questions, and then they explain stuff to him. Huh.
Yeah,
that kind of seems like, they're
it's a novel
not judging
concept.
him and assuming that he's... Yeah, it kind of seems like this Dice person isn't judging him and is like, oh, you want to have a conversation and you want understanding. Okay, here's my point of view.
Maybe
and it sounds like in most of the time he accepts it, but perhaps he doesn't always. I don't know.
Maybe because he said ahead of time that he has
something that maybe
queer
Eric would
girlfriend?
want to consider.
Yeah, God bless. Maybe Eric. could
Yes,
open
he
up to
has
that.
a queer wife.
So, wife. I'm sorry. So maybe that's what. Maybe he prefaces these conversations by saying, "I have a queer wife, so let me ask you these questions that I'm not sure about." It's like I have a black friend. Let me ask my black friend what's racist.
Kind of. It does sound very tropey. I wonder how far you could go with that. Like, can you also make your queer wife of color, who's also, you could have her differently abled as well. You could keep moving it up, and maybe you can keep getting into different communities. Would that actually make you higher up on the hierarchy because it's your wife, or would you still have to be a decent human being on your own and not get some sort of stolen valor from somebody close to you? I don't know. I'm
gonna break up with my
kinda
girlfriend. I need a more gay girlfriend, so I can say whatever I want.
It could help.
My girlfriend's no
sure.
good. She's only cis heteronormative.
Well, exactly. Wouldn't it make you a better person if you did break up with her because she isn't as inclusive as somebody who I don't know. It just seems like it might even make you a better person if you're looking for somebody more inclusive. At least that's what it seems like in their eyes.
I was a dragon, and
I love my girlfriend because if I were to say you're cis heteronormative baby, she'd be like, "Shut up, just shut up."
Yeah. It sounds like you got a really good thing there. I wouldn't take up their kind of advice, but if you did want a fake shield, it does appear that is one way that you could, get some sort of immunity. If you
or we could figure out which letter Dane is that they leave off of the LGBTQ. Maybe we can get with that one.
It's one of those towards the end that's not really represented.
Like asshole.
It's a form of D.
Douchebag.
We'll just leave it at that. Close.
Tell me what it was, and I was like, "Oh, that's not awful." Hot. You mean third wheel? Is that all that you mean? And we had a,
But yeah, I had no idea that dragon meant third wheel. Essentially,
I missed the part of the story. So what happened? So
person.
So CP's
basically,
bisexual wife wants him to be a dragon.
For months, it was trying to get me to understand what sounding was, and I just
right?
That's what I'm getting out of it. But I don't know. Maybe he's talking about something else. But yeah, I think so.
I talked over some of what he said, so maybe that's not what he's saying.
I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in the neighborhood. I don't think that's super important. But either way, it sounds like he has people in his life that he can go to and ask questions, kind of like you were trying to do. And
sure.
I think in a very fair way. But, he's getting more charity than you ever would. So,
and I mean, I also have
maybe that queer wife has something to do with it.
I also have gay people in my life, and I know trans people as well.
That's impossible.
So shocking, but I do know some of them, and you know, the point again of having a conversation on YouTube in a format like that would have been for other people to also see this conversation, not for me to just have a private conversation with somebody who happens to be gay that I know, because I can do that.
Yeah.
And you know, I have had similar conversations, but the whole point was to open up their concept, open up our concept, and you know, bridge a gap. But
it definitely didn't seem like they were representing your side fairly with kind of all that whole "you don't think gay people should exist" rhetoric. I don't know. That just seems so, I don't know, beyond hyperbolic that it is like literally insulting. It is damn near, I don't know what you want to call it, actionable. Just basically saying that you're calling for genocide of him. Like that seems really wrong.
It's pretty fucked up.
Unless I'm misinterpreting the way that he's saying you don't think he should exist. But to me, that sounds like in a very bad way. But
yeah,
I don't know. That just sounds so bad faith. I don't think we believe that they think we shouldn't exist. I'm assuming they don't want us to keep doing what we're doing, but I don't know. I don't think they want us to not exist. But maybe.
Yeah.
That would be really helpful if they did. Yeah.
Not
Oh no.
into it.
Yeah.
And,
you know, that's a good term actually for anybody that thinks cis is a slur. Flat scans. Love it. Love it. Yeah, that's what this show used to be called actually. I don't know what happened to that. Oh wait, I changed it because I figured not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're moving forward.
Does he have a
Time
name
marches
for a
on.
show now?
Like I get not
Fandom
wanting
Initiative?
to change.
It doesn't need a name. He
used to
just pulls
something
it down
certain way.
immediately.
Coming from an agoraphobic, I don't want to leave the house, but
Fair
I had
enough.
to march into Walmart today to get my stupid anxiety medication, and it sucked. But for this,
Shocking that this guy is
That does suck.
agoraphobic.
You know, yeah, I mean, as someone who's definitely had some anxiety
I'm a
issues
little
in the
bit.
past, that sucks, man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we all have like a degree of it. I guess those who are like super, what do they call it? Extroverted. Perhaps maybe they don't, but I think most people have a little dose of it, and then some have more than others. So
Yeah, and I'm going to go out on a limb and
definitely sucks that he
assume
has
that.
it, and that.
God, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say it sucks that he, has to be on medication for it, and
Yeah,
that would,
it's terrible.
suck to be out of it, have to actually go to the place to get it. That seems like that would, cause me some anxiety to get the anxiety stuff.
Sounds like a nightmare.
But yeah, that's.
But
just,
I'm going to assume
for
that
sure.
most people that are on YouTube, whether you're watching or a content creator, have like a lot of problems, and agoraphobia probably being one of the big ones. Like you don't sit on YouTube for hours if you're like really cool with going out and hanging out with the rest of the world. Which I'm not. I hate the rest.
That's
of the
why I
world.
kind of corrected myself to try and say extroverts, because I agree with you. I think most people who are on here probably aren't really extroverts.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to call this, extrovert, but you're from your house or whatever. You're streaming.
Right.
You're not out at a club
safe.
talking to people. I think that would be. Yeah, exactly. So. I think we all have it to a degree, mostly on this platform. But, maybe there's a weird outgoing person who doesn't. And if so, I envy you. But, yeah, it definitely sucks that Charles has that.
sake of being better, I had to do it. And if you really care about the rest of the world and children and so on, then you're gonna, fuck, what happened to ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country?
Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
Perhaps I
Mika.
cut that out of context, but what the hell did? Oh yeah.
Yeah, what was the relevance?
Yeah. What was the relevance between what your country can do and the children? I guess it was in reference to that movie, the Sound of Freedom or whatever.
Yeah.
So during this podcast or stream, they were kind of covering that. They got into some really weird territory with it and some really conspiratorial shit. I didn't really want to go into it. I didn't really want to look to debunk it. The movie sounds weird. I don't like child trafficking. I don't think anybody else does. But
No.
yeah, I didn't grab a bunch of that for reference. So come to think of it, the ask not what your country can do for you and the children thing was probably in reference to that. So
Fair enough.
sorry for the context.
But yeah,
I
no,
know
we were
that
saying
you're around
Mika.
Bob's community a lot. I know that you're here a
Like
lot. I don't
Mika.
know how you've missed this at this point, but like these things are intrinsically inextricably linked.
He's got a good question though, or
Yeah.
they have a good question. I don't know if it's a he or she. It could be Mika or Micah. Organized chaos. I do want to ask why things are getting so political lately. Why do we talk about Why don't we talk about comics or fandom today?
You notice he didn't ask Dane?
They've got a really good point.
Or
Yeah.
they didn't ask Dane?
I have a feeling that they might be banned off of Dane's channel.
I
don't know.
probably.
I think I might not be banned on Bob's. I haven't really tried to comment in any of their channels lately, but I know for a fact I got banned in actual fandom, so I'm assuming I'm still banned there. Yeah.
It's a very inexclusive club.
That's why I'm guessing Micah or Mika is going straight to organized chaos. But they got a good point, and especially if they are one of those fans from back in the day, like back when he was still doing the Versus thing. I think the last Versus was the Eternals versus, I can't remember who. I'm like, God, how long ago was the Eternals movie? I don't know. He did make some kind of cool content before. I hope he kind of gets back to that, because I agree with him. I don't know that he has the best analysis of this type of stuff. Again, go to Andrew Clark's channel. Andrew Clark is amazing. But he just did a breakdown of organized chaos, breaking down Critical Drinker's video. I happen to be on it, but it was mainly Andrew doing this. And he's just got a really good way of breaking down just how little organized chaos is actually paying attention and goes into on this video. It is kind of crazy. I can't tell if it's bad faith or just like bad memory, but it is insane. So yeah, I hope Bob does get back to real content at some point instead of this thing. But let's see how they actually answer this. Will actual fandom let organized chaos answer it? Let's see.
This point, and we actually do. We've been talking about fandoms all day. Like that's what we talk about every week.
I mean, my channel is primarily a movie channel. And what we've been talking about on this stream, a fucking movie.
And you know, we talk about the fandom menace and what they're saying. We talk about our fandom and what a healthy fandom would look like and does look like. And, like we literally talk about these things. So it's weird to. I mean, I talk about comics, you know, all the time. You know, and I don't know what to say about that. This might be kind of disingenuous or something. I don't know. Why do you guys think there's only? Well, we addressed this earlier.
Money.
Actually. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this pretty extensively, or I did. I fucking rattled off about it. You know, about why that is. And not to say you guys should not be critiqued. No, I mean, we should be critiqued. It's just the people that we are criticizing. I've yet to see any real criticism that is valid from them, because like if they can't analyze, they don't analyze the media that they're talking about.
Why would they have valid criticism if they're not valid people?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Rotten Tomato score is low, and it's making low at the box office. And I can only assume that the budget is this times 3 because marketing. Even
when they do criticize us in some way that like appears to be valid, it's like double standard shit. Because you know, like me saying chunky monkey and like not, which is not like anything racial. Even though I fucking readily admitted that I didn't think about it. The thing, I didn't think about any context of anything except that it was a line from Iron Man 3 that popped in my head when talking about somebody being chunky.
I thought.
You know, there's him. There's all his buddies, and then. Oh, what was this? What was all that?
Oh,
what's happening here?
A double standard, you say?
Well, it's off there. No, stop paying attention. But the point is,
looks like
you just a few years
DJ.
ago, we're a chunky monkey. Dude, you just a few years ago, we're a chunky monkey. Look at this.
I don't know.
Here.
I think you know, DJ's definitely got something on Eric July, and I think that's pounds, not necessarily the good kind. But
and he's like 2 feet shorter.
Yeah, there's that too. I don't know. I don't think any of these guys, except for Charles, are exactly like thin. I don't know. They don't seem to have athletic builds either. So I don't know. I'm not sure
I wouldn't be mocking anybody's body if I was these guys.
Yeah, and they claim that it's okay because Eric July went there on Bob during his debate is why they started doing this. But I don't know. It's just weird. He didn't just call him the name. He then in chats, which again, if you look back at our previous ones, we can show you the actual like chats where in Ed's channel where he said like he has to pay, I can't remember how much for every time he uses an obese primate reference. For somebody who's remorseful for calling him that, he seemed to say this multiple times. And then he decided to do this on one of his streams, which it's just very classy.
All right. You want to talk about that?
So good.
Doubles down on stupidity.
Well, I mean, you know, and look, I've said before, I have said racist things in the past, thankfully not on the internet. But if I had, I would own up to them, right? And if anybody sincerely comes to me and says, I sincerely was like hurt by you saying chunky monkey, then I will apologize to that person. But it hasn't fucking happened yet.
What about if I say I'm sincerely hurt by you calling me a racist?
Nope.
I'm not going to show you my ass.
On, Bob.
You know what's kind of fucked up about that?
That's going to be my impression of Eric from now on. It's just like,
but ice cream.
Yeah, and so
now, I could be super uncharitable and say, you know, that seemed like he not only called him a monkey numerous times in both text form and graphic form, which he made in, you know, big shiny letters. He also said that on a stream, and then he, you know, mimicked a monkey while saying, this is my impression of this guy. That really kind of seems like a pattern starting to form there. Now, I personally believe Dane when he says that, you know, he wasn't meaning it that way, but he certainly has leaned into it. So I don't know if I believe him when he's saying that he is apologetic for it. It seems like he's okay with it when it's somebody
he'll
he doesn't
apologize
like.
to someone else that may have gotten offended by that, but not actually Eric July himself, who he called that.
No, exactly.
And I've heard people call us out and say, you know, Eric July has said some kind of racist things too. And it's like, yeah, but you know, Eric July's not out there advocating to not be fucking saying these things because everything you know, is racist when you say it. He's more like, you know, people are just fucking with each other. I'm not justifying anything he's saying either. I don't really follow him enough to know. But I do know Dane.
Well, and if you saw that debate too, he was kind of baited into saying that by Bob. He was basically saying that he didn't, that Bob was telling Eric July that Eric July didn't do things for the interest of black people, and he didn't like that. I don't know. It seems weird. Then he did go to kind of a dark place and say like he was a fake Irishman, and but neither side was correct in that. I think both sides were totally wrong.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, and then he took it way too far in that regard. I think both sides were bad, and then and he kind of did most of the shit talking after the debate because Bob kind of just left in the middle of it after he tried to stir some shit up. You know, I think both sides were wrong. I think you should leave that shit out of there. It should literally be the ideas.
I'll tell you though, I would fucking pay the amount of money is. I would pay a ridiculous amount of money for the video of the day. Fucking Eric July comes face to face with Dane and Bob in whatever circumstance, maybe a convention, maybe something like that. And you know Eric July is going to walk up to him and be like, all right, call me Chunky Monkey. Tell me how I don't treat people of my own race properly. And then go ahead and call me an Uncle Tom. And I don't think they'll get the word uncle out before Eric July just breaks a nose, knocks a tooth out. I feel like he would beat the shit out of these two guys at the same time. And it would just be
I feel like the second they see him, they would just
they'd run.
They would melt. They would run. Like if they can
I doubt they would go
use their
in the
legs
first
at that
place.
moment, they will get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I just can't see it going any other way.
No, and you know what? I think
but
Eric would be
I
completely
would love to see
justified
that
in
split
kicking their
second
ass.
when they realize. Oh yes, very justified. That being said, I don't justify violence. You know,
No.
like words are words. I don't think he should.
But it would be
come on,
hysterical.
these guys have all said so many slurs, especially WILIscredia. If that dude was there, I think he would totally be justified considering the shit that he has talked about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, if CP did ever meet this guy face to face, I would like to see some footage. But
You know what the problem with these
I
guys?
don't condone any violence or anything like that.
I'm not like saying, you know, anybody please go do this, but it would be fun if you're there, record it at least. But you know, guys like CP and Dane too. I mean, you know guys like this our whole lives, and you know that one like CP or Dane would be in a fucking panic in that moment, but their little egos would never allow them to be like, I'm sorry, you know, like they would have to double down on it and be like, well, you were actually an uncle, pow, and it would be like the fucking funniest thing. I would just watch it over and over again, and not because I want to see them physically hurt, but because I hate racism.
Yeah, it is always nice when you see a bigot actually get checked, especially by you know, the person who is kind of the target of the bigotry,
the
so
marginalized person.
It does seem good, you know. Yeah, well, like, you know, Django Unchained.
Sure.
That was a great comeuppance. it felt deserved. I'm not saying that they deserve the same, but
no,
it kind of makes you root for a certain amount of violence.
Yeah, the ship.
Again,
the ship
I don't
sailed on
condone
the
it,
ass
but I
kicking
can
on these
totally
guys.
understand what you're saying.
Like these guys clearly have
But I
never
totally
gotten the
understand
ass
what you're saying.
kicking that they needed. They needed an ass kicking when they were like 14, maybe 13, 15. They missed it
I
somehow.
think
They
it
got
would've
by.
helped.
Yeah, because if they would have gotten the shit
Yeah.
knocked out of them for being like this when they were kids or when they were younger, like young adults, they never would have gotten to this point of being so stupid. Because they would realize that, like, when
No,
you
I don't
talk like
think you
this,
could get.
you're gonna get punched in the face.
Yeah, you would not be able to get what WILIscredia is about to justify
Yeah,
with
let's hear
this.
it. Let's
You know,
hear
and
it.
I still get people. There's videos out there that are like actual fandoms are racist, and like, dude, you've literally been defending a channels that are like very obviously fucking grossly bigoted and shit like that. And now you're gonna, it's just ends to a mean. Means to an end. They can justify anything in their minds, right? And so when it comes to being criticized, that's one of the reasons that the initiative, is a good thing. And we're going to talk about this in a video upcoming about the ethical accountability, which we have these conversations. If one of us says something, it's usually me. But if one of us says something, it's like it's always me, maybe. That's a kind of over the line or something like that. I've been called out on it. I've apologized for it, and I've tried to do better. And that's a good thing because I can trust these guys, and I know that they have
He hasn't
the same
apologized for the
ethical
chunky
concerns
monkey
that I
thing.
do. And so if I fucking slip up and just kind of out of anger, which is typically when it happens, I say the R slur. It's happened a few times.
Retard.
I'm gonna get called for it. Yeah.
Is Patrick in the room right now?
They show up to fucking right whenever you start getting onto good points is whenever they're like, hey, let me ask a really fucking retarded question.
Yeah.
Dane.
I said the R word. That was on purpose. I did that totally intentionally. I wasn't just out of complete frustration. And I set
Yeah,
the
we believe
tone
you.
because it's
We
about to
believe
get
you.
worse.
Yeah. You were just
this is
demonstrating.
I tripped over that crack on purpose.
Patrick, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, you're a fucking moron. I'm sorry, you just are. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
So
Evie,
this
I'm
was
pretty sure
a
that
list of slurs
heard
that
the R
Dane
slur. I
decided
know
to
I've
make a
heard it on
slur
YouTube.
tier list.
I know for a fact that I don't. I mean, I've said it on YouTube. I said
Autistic as an
before,
insult.
too, when something
What about
just-
cis as an insult?
Yeah, I've been told in private that
I try
an M word I use isn't exactly
M?
socially
Did he say
acceptable
M?
anymore. So I've got to. It's going to take me a while, but I will
I can't even think of an M.
coherently try to stop
I
it.
know. I think I
because
know.
I'm sorry if I
Mongoloid,
said
maybe?
you're disingenuous because the everyone can always improve thing does seem to be like something that would be a sincere person, and that's true.
Well,
okay.
I mean, there's you guys have had to answer for something I said, and
Can you still
I
say troglodyte?
clearly said nobody else is
I don't know.
responsible for this.
We should ask
Shout
Dane.
out to that
Email
ridiculous
him.
eagle in a wrestling outfit. Thanks for using the context of that clip, by the
Hey, shout out to Alpha.
Keep in mind, he's
Alpha
probably watching
Eagle.
right now.
That's
Hi,
true.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric, make
Eric.
sure to like and subscribe, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
He's been watching us
educated.
a lot.
Homeboy's
I
fucking
can tell you what
seasoned
a
right now.
character means.
Ugh, look at
It's
his
like,
face.
it's like that Tupac song, bro. You made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way, you know?
Yeah, Uncle Tom.
That's funny.
For real.
Oof.
ooh.
Look at his
Yeah,
face.
I said it.
Yeah.
That's
How
not
is nobody
look
punching
at
him?
how
It's
he
out of
look
sync
at
for
the
me,
work
but he
does
made
for the
that
Blaze.
face
Yeah,
right after
yeah,
saying
totally.
it.
You were my favorite viewer.
Bye.
Remember, it was me that said Uncle Tom. Nobody else had anything to do with it. So when you go,
I don't know why, but that
blame
part
anybody
cracks me
else.
up.
Well, I mean, I know that Reggie said it about Eric July before, so I mean, I wouldn't necessarily repeat it, but I don't think that it's necessarily going to
Well,
get
Yeah,
canceled.
I don't
I
think
just-
it's inaccurate.
I just
I don't-
want to make it clear that nobody here influenced me, or if you guys don't endorse it, I
Look at Bob's face.
understand. I said it. You
I
go
agree
ahead
with
and
I love racism.
and say whatever the fuck you want. He fits the stereotype, and we
I
all
was
know
saying that.
how stereotypes work.
Look, I'm just coming off the fucking heels of fucking Chunky Monkey.
What an asshole.
I haven't done anything with it set up yet, so it may not be.
I know.
there.
You got like one. Okay.
Oh, and Eric, it's me. Remember, for that term,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
nobody up here said anything. That was me. For all of your fucking zombies that
The
want
Hamburglar.
call and
Yeah.
throw bricks in glass houses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I still have yet to hear.
Well, he did try to take credit for that. If we go back to these tweets, sorry, going back to slide 1, and it's going all weird. There we go. For the record, so this would be WILIscredia, CP. After he had called Eric July and Uncle Tom, he had to set the record straight. So for the record, I called Eric July and Uncle Tom only after he went off talking about a close friend's children. I do not regret my reaction. When you work for the Blaze and argue against your community's best interests, that is rather Uncle Tom-ish. If you disagree with my use of the term, I understand and don't blame you. He just looks down on you. Yeah. I kindly ask that you look into the investigating factor and remember, I've never been a high road guy. And when people do scummy stuff and discuss somebody's kids with them not there to dispute is scummy. So again, he did something scummy, so that makes it okay for you to commit bigotry against them.
He should have asked his queer wife. She probably would have told him it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe he would have gotten, some sort of shield from her, but I don't know. It just seems like it's beyond high road to not commit racism when somebody is an asshole to your friend. But I don't know. He takes that as the high road, and he's not a high road guy. I don't know. Fuck WILIscredia. Sorry, fuck CP, as he wants to be called. So Eric July had a response to him. Do tell, Mr. White Man, what are the best interests for my communities? And he did not respond because, again, WILIscredia, Mr. CP is a coward.
Pussy.
And then Dane weighed in on the matter. Ooh. Unless someone you know shares your values and is legit anti-racist says something, it is not worth worrying over. Any randos coming at you probably don't actually care about racism. It's a cynical game to them. Take it from me, I just went through this, lol. He's talking about, again, his Chunky Monkey scandal. He seems to be equating actually calling a black man a slur for having beliefs that you don't agree with. The same to the Chunky Monkey thing, which he keeps claiming is an accident. So I don't know. That seems a little inconsistent.
I don't know.
Is he saying that he did it on accident, or he believes it's just fine in this situation, like it is for WILIscredia? I really don't like this shit. It seems like a double standard, and nothing is principled at all.
Yeah, I mean,
just fuck them.
If my entire platform was about like fighting racism and trying to get all that stuff eradicated, I think the last thing I would do would be to associate myself with racist slurs and hang out with people who use them unforgivingly and unapologetically. Is just like, yeah, no, fuck it, I did it, and it's okay. Like,
yeah,
bad look.
Beyond bad look. Yeah. It is really bad. So yeah, this I'm not sure what the context of this original one was, but starting to think we should start bullying homophobes. Y'all want to be a bunch of bitch-made crybabies overseeing gay people, then y'all should be treated as such. So somebody advocating for bullying homophobes, and to which Dane decides to respond, I've been bullying them, please join me.
Whoa.
Or, sorry, join me, please. I don't know why I reversed that. Bullying bullies is based and morally good. So this dude has no fucking principles.
No.
It really sucks. Why is it okay to bully a bully just because they're a bully?
And only if he calls them a bully, right? Only if it's Dane's standard.
Well, it's just like, exactly. It's just like the bigot thing. Who is, by his standard, not a bigot? Who is not a bully? It really sucks. It just shows that you don't have a principled stance on anything. This will be another thing I'm going to go ahead and put in that email I'm going to send you, Dane. I don't think you're a principled person. It's things like bullying bullies. It's stuff like that. Being okay with slurs, justifying it, not shutting any of that shit down. That is why I think that you, sir, are a hypocrite and you have no principles that you actually stand by. But yeah, getting back to the stream.
A half Irishman is, and
again, it's wrong that Eric July.
I was combating a term and terminology used. And what I said before the clip that is shown to everybody is, I'm not the if they go low, I go high guy. I'll get in the mud with you.
Yeah.
What happened was
apparently the mud is racism. Like, it's okay to jump into racism. I don't know.
Yeah, and he'll also get in the mud with you. By getting the mud with you, he means I will quickly run to Walmart, get something I need, and as fast as I can run home and get in my house and lock every goddamn door, and then I'll hide behind my computer and turn off my replies, and then I'll get in the mud with you.
Oh, you forgot. You're supposed to call him a slur first, then do all that. But yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Bob was being just. I'm sorry, he was being racially fucking just a bunch of things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Weight,
like
his children.
What did you
his
guys
family
do
life,
life?
just
Yeah.
lies being said about his personal life and stuff.
So you
And-
talked about weight, children, family. I know Ed's made a song about how Eric July's father left. That seems really
Oh,
fun.
yeah, that was
You
neat.
played that multiple times on your stream. I don't know. You've attacked his family. You attacked his weight. You said that your chunky monkey comment was in no way racist, but it could be fat phobic. So it seems like you did the exact same fucking thing. There is no way that the WILIscredia, Eduardo calling him Uncle Tom thing is not fucking racist. I don't understand. What leg do you guys have to stand on? There is nothing principled here.
They don't.
Nonsense talk about how the Scandinavians are stronger than the Germans. Like,
said that the Germans, Bob might be German because he sounds like a Nazi, indicating that all Germans are just Nazis.
yeah, the
Nope.
stereotyping was just off the fucking mark. And I was like, wait a minute. And then he said that
Like you're
Scandinavians are
stereotyping.
stronger. And I'm like, do you know what April 9th, 1940 is? You fucking idiot. They
Yeah,
gave
I
up in
don't-
one day to the Germans. Like, at least be
Do you
educated on
remember-
your fucking
Ridiculous
stereotype.
how they do this shit where they're like, they constantly deflect against fucking totally legitimate, valid criticisms, and where we'll lay out an argument about how this is actually racist. Here's the fucking evidence to support this, blah, 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 blah. And then here's the pattern of them doing this. And then it's like, yeah, but you said this one thing that's vaguely, like I can kind of extract.
So here's a pattern of you guys, the Fandom Initiative, being absolute assholes, racist, and bigoted. And you're saying, but this one time, it was just me talking about his weight. It was just me saying chunky monkey. But it's not that. This is the same thing, you asshole. Can you not see it from the other way around? It really feels like you are, I don't know, deflecting, but are doing the exact same thing. I don't know. It seems hypocritical to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing this wrong.
It's a pattern.
Extrapolate that because you said chunky monkey, then and because that it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And anyway, and then this last one, yeah, we know. Amazing Atheist actually came on my channel a couple years ago. I invited him on for this purpose because I wanted to talk to the guy who not only was an anti-shit, he popularized the word with one of his videos. This is what went viral and created this whole fucking mess. We can blame him, but like, yeah, he came on, and I just wanted to have him explain to people, like, what is it that you've come to understand now that kind of makes you a leftist, and as opposed to that shit. And so that video is up on my channel. Just check it out.
Phil Anselmo, the lead singer from Pantera, maybe a decade ago, he was in his 40s at the point, or late 30s. On stage at a show, he gestured something and uttered the words that rhyme with right nower. And said he was kidding, and if you don't like it, deal with it. And he's come around in the last couple of years and said there's no excuse for that behavior, and he constantly apologizes. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing. I didn't know that, man. That's
like we can change.
Maybe Charles should try that.
It would be nice. I don't hear Charles apologizing for his slurs or anything like that, or his stereotyping. I haven't heard Dane actually utter an apology for his. Bob, he's said that is correct, or I don't disagree when people have used slurs for black people at least 3 times that I've caught.
Bob's the only one I could believe, though, that didn't know any better.
Maybe. He does seem a little naive. But
I don't
know.
believe
It
that
just-
Bob
it
is like
seems
racist or that ignorant.
fair enough.
Dane, maybe. Dane definitely.
I don't know.
Dane's a
It just
fucking
seems very strange, and I don't know if hypocritical is strong enough for this, but very unprincipled, and I just don't understand.
Again, I'll go back to it. We evolve, man. Like it's all about everybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the idea. I did.
Oh, sorry, but getting back to the Phil Anselmo thing, yeah, that's really horrible. I really liked Pantera back in the day, but I don't know, it was weird. A super drunk Phil Anselmo got on stage and was just like zig heiling and saying like
really,
like he
I didn't know about any of that.
It rhymes with schmite, whatever, wower. It was a really bad look, and I haven't been able to look at the dude the same since then. I don't know. I also kind of heard the same thing about Clapton. Like one time he got super drunk and was kind of being super white supremacist to his audience. I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like I can't think that I've been drunk a lot, and I have never been like, now I'm going to be a weird supremacist. Like, it just seems weird to me. I don't know. I find it hard to relate. It just makes me think different of the person. And I don't know. I kind of get similar feelings when people use like slurs and they don't have kind of a principled stance about it. It's just what political side of the aisle you land on. I don't know. I'm getting similar vibes from these guys. And I got to say, good on Phil Anselmo if he's apologizing for that shit. I know for a while he wasn't, but that dude is weird. He is, I believe it's been a heroin addict for years. Like, I don't know. I hope that dude gets better, but I don't know that he was necessarily in the right frame of mind when he did that. I'm glad he's kind of saying, yeah, that's not legit. So
we're sorry.
Good for him. But yeah, I haven't heard an apology from WILIscredia. I've just kind of heard justification and literally saying he will not apologize for it. So it seems a little different. Good on Phil.
Because he was right.
Fuck
right?
you, CP.
That was his whole thing.
Yeah.
I cussed you out over Nerd Rock's drug use. Just because, like, not to do it all over again, because Reggie is like, he's a great dude.
I'll address that anyway. I was the one who addressed the whole chunky monkey.
This is Reggie, by the way.
And it was just because, you can, like, I didn't think it was offensive. I felt like people would take it into offense, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
I mean, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, you can call, like, I call Eric July a coon. I call him ashy and musty, and he tells me to stop. So,
look at Dane smiling.
He's got the best,
jerk off.
Yeah, he wasn't telling him to stop right there or anything like that.
As soon as he says that, Dane's smile goes ear to ear.
Yeah, it's again kind of a pass. I've heard it said that sketchy goth ands, I will only refer to him that way. Well, okay, fine, Reggie. The guy who was just on speaking and saying that he regularly calls Eric July slurs as well is the one who said, no, it's okay, I gave you the pass on the chunky monkey. I don't know if that necessarily works to give you a pass. By the way, that is supposedly Dane's black friend. So.
Oh, no way. That's the black friend? Dane's black friend's racist?
He is the friend. Yes. So, that's why he got the chunky monkey pass. But yeah, that's sketchy goth hands right there, who apparently Dane cursed him out over Nerdrotic's drug use. Don't see this so much with the slurs, but yeah, whatever.
It's true. He fucking loves the comic book industry and the fandom, and it breaks his heart to see the shit that goes on, and I'm right there with him. And he was kind of pissed off at Nerdrotic one day and said something about his past as a drug addict or whatever, and I was like, look, there's so many things to criticize him about that to go after that I think is just kind of honestly lazy to a degree, but really just it's drug addicts or they're takes all types, and it's not an indicator of personality or somebody's worth as a person or whether they're a strong person or a good person, none of that. So
this is Dane rewriting history.
Honestly,
I'm pretty sure I remember this stream.
Good.
Yeah, as far as I remember, he
did
say something similar, but then made fun of it. Mm-hmm. So this is Dane's
I'm not sure where
rewritable
this
history.
Is turning, but yeah, that's awesome. If he's going to say that, yeah, like if somebody has bettered themselves, cool. Don't necessarily hold their history up against them, and forever.
Yeah,
I don't know what you'd say. Like make them repent for it if they have righted the wrongs. It sounds like he actually had some sort of justice happen, and then he has definitely changed.
Yeah, turned his life around.
That's awesome. And yeah, I like what Dane is saying, that addiction could hit anyone, and it could. We have a really kind of messed up system, and we especially did for a while. That was definitely focused on you've got to listen to the person asking for the pills, and it could definitely
addiction is a equal opportunity employer.
So for sure. So that's awesome that Dane has that opinion. I wish he would be so open with other beliefs as well. But yeah, I at least got to give him credit for that.
For him. For getting off of it, right? Maybe it took going to prison for it to happen.
Fucking A, that's hard. Anybody who just says that without understanding what the struggle is, listen. I had spinal surgery and I was on just regular not over the counter, but prescription grade opiates, and you get hooked, and you don't think that you're an addict, and you are, because your body tells you, hey, we need that shit once you stop taking it, and it's the worst thing in the world.
the thing with Nerdrotic what you should criticize him when it comes to drug use is that he has used other people's liberals, leftists, wokies addictions to fucking smear them. I've seen him do it a few times on Twitter, and it's like, dude, how the fuck can you possibly justify this? Being a former, an addict yourself, right?
Right.
Like, but once again, it,
if he
means
is,
to an
that
end.
sucks.
Doesn't matter. No ethics.
Business ethics. Sorry, had to drop a little Happy Gilmore. Oh, Billy Madison.
Anyway,
I think. I mean, if we're gonna talk about Nerdrotic, let's. Does that drop still in here?
yes.
Yeah. Let's have
okay, because I really dislike the fake geek thing and the poser nerd thing. That's not what we're about. We're about inclusiveness, and we want new people in. And if new people, spout off and make mistakes, hey, don't we all?
Huh. I miss Nerdrotic from that time.
Yeah, and evolution can go the wrong way sometimes.
Yes, sometimes there's de-evolution.
That does seem like a good message.
That
is kind of shitty if he's
all
not
right,
going by that anymore.
That dude deserves zero respect. I'm not saying give him respect. I'm saying that respect other addicts by not, it's like how people would say, oh, I don't give a fuck about Ezra Miller's pronouns because they're a piece of shit, or he's a piece of shit. And it's like, dude, if you can abandon their pronouns just because you think they're a bad person, that says that you kind of don't give a shit in general about, like, there's no standard for what you think about other people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It slides right into everything else. Everybody thought that Buffalo Bill was so,
especially given like his willingness to let one of his friends dox somebody else based off of their unwillingness to call someone by their pronouns. I don't know. It just seems very, very hypocritical to take that stance. But I don't know. It just kind of hits weird if you kind of know the backstory on some of that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Again, he's totally down with pronouns and everything. You've got to be called what you want, but still the identification thing of I don't want to be called cis as well. I don't know. They can't respect that, which it seems weird. It seems like maybe a conversation could be had, but they don't want to do that. It would all be in bad faith. I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Evil because they were trans and
this is the dumbest fucking take I've ever heard.
It's like no. That's not the reason that they were bad. You fuck.
That
don't
movie,
do that. Don't do that other shit.
Have you ever heard of that take that anyone thinks that the bad guy in Silence of the Lambs is bad just because they're trans? Like
that's
right,
that's the villain. Trans is the villain.
Yeah, like no, this person is an individual and they're a creep. Like
he's
they're
a crazy person.
A skin suit. I don't think trans people are trying to make skin suits. Like I can't remember the actual killer it's based off of. Is it Geen or something?
Yeah,
like
I think.
That? Anyway,
right.
It's
you know what's funny? I actually never even made the association because that back then it wasn't really trans was not like it wasn't at the forefront like it is now. So I never, looking back at that, made the association between like, oh, this is a trans person trying to make himself into a woman. They're trying to transition.
For sure.
I've never made that connection. I was always like, oh God, he's gonna make a fucking skin suit. Like I never made the connection that it was about trans.
Same. I know as a kid I thought it was more like the leather face.
Yeah.
Like I assumed it was very similar. But which I thought was just, like a horror movie trope. Like, oh God, there's people that just want to wear your skin. Like clearly you're not passing as somebody else. But yeah, I can understand that it was maybe more of an allegory than I definitely thought.
Maybe if they made it now, it would be able to be received different. Maybe that we could touch on that on Death of the Author because
yeah, for sure.
Maybe, I don't know, but not then, certainly. I've never even thought about it, and it's not like we don't think about this movie often. People talk about it all the time, but I've never thought about that until I heard CP say so.
Yeah, it just seems like a weird take. Like,
it is. It's a weird fucking
I wonder
guy.
if anyone has ever actually made that take that like he's just bad because he's trans.
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's just weird. I
maybe
think
I'm
it's
wrong.
the kidnapping, killing, skinning.
Yeah.
Using
it puts the
that skin
lotion
to make
in
a
the
suit
basket.
Thing makes them bad, but I don't know. I mean, that's weird. I think the fact that they're a decent dog owner and trans like don't factor into this at all. But
yeah,
I don't know. Whatever.
They care about skincare routines.
It's a weird movie to go back to because I love that movie. That is such a well done movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are some issues around. But they do actually try to go out of their way to say, even back then, they're aware of like, like this isn't this isn't because he's trans. This is because he's a psycho.
Yeah. Thank you, Lucifer. That's what I was trying to convey. That you said much better. It's like you're waiting for someone to do something wrong, so you can use slurs and misgender.
Is he talking about them?
Seem like that, WILIscredia. I think Lucifer must have been referring to WILIscredia, right? Like,
I would assume.
I think that refers to both Ed and WILIscredia. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe Bob would say he doesn't disagree with it, or it's not inaccurate. But I don't know. That is weird. I wonder who Lucifer writing. My favorite chatter. I wonder who they were referring to.
We need to start with the definition of a slur.
Comment, Lucifer.
Because that is the most foundational issue that I see going on here. Is people like, is it a slur? Or is it not a slur? Is it a slur?
Who's this fucking
All right,
guy?
let's look at the definition of a slur. Not that one. We're looking at the noun version here. An insinuation or allegation.
Oh, that used to be a
about someone that is likely
co-host.
to insult.
They called themselves the Beta Boys, but it was Dane and Robo Strange himself.
I no joke thought it was fucking
I don't know.
Ed at first.
No, this
I
is
thought it was
Robo.
Ed with like a haircut and like maybe he lost the weight in the interim, but for like the eyes, it looks like him. At least in the tiny little box I'm looking at.
No, I gotcha. He does look a lot like Ed, but no, this was proto Ed. This was before Ed. This was back in the day.
Gone
so
but not
I just
forgotten.
happened to be looking when Dane took down all his streams, like, well, there has to be something else out there. And it looks like Robo didn't take it down, but he was kind of tagged in there, and it's on some playlist that's public. So it's like, oh, hey. But yeah, in this weird Beta Boys stream, Dane decided that they should list and rank every every slur and put it into like a tier list. And this Robo guy had to explain to him, like, that's super racist. If you want to go through and like talk about these, we can talk about slurs, but
which ones are
rank
worse?
Slurs. Yeah. So he had to be told that like that's actually a super racist idea. But I don't know. Maybe this tier list still exists in his head because he seems to be okay with certain slurs, but not other ones. But during this, before they actually decided to talk about the slurs, they wanted to talk about what is a slur. So we've seen the previous clips where he talked about even chud could be a slur, but here he is defining what a slur is. It actually is very similar. I think he's just using Google's definition, but yeah,
them or damage their reputation. So that can be like, I don't know, Robo's a douchebag, right? That's a slur I just said about Robo.
And true.
And
so
I mean,
doesn't matter if it's true. Like I don't know.
If you identify as that, I don't know. So yeah, it's basically another similar to a slanderous statement, a slight, an insult. Okay, so those are slurs. So if if Robo calls me the C word in not even a joking way, let's say I piss him off,
C word?
And he's like, you crack.
Like a whip if it makes a noise,
like a cracker.
Barrel.
It's a slur.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not a hate
Don't use the hard
slur.
R.
And it's a racial slur technically, but like it's not the same thing as an N-word or I don't know. What are some slurs for Hispanic people?
I don't know any.
Patrick, would you care to weigh in on this one?
I don't know any.
Kidding,
I've never heard any. I don't use them. I have no idea.
Nobody
and if
would.
I did, I would
Nobody
apologize.
knows anything about that.
I think it's funny
exactly.
that Dane actually gives away the ghost there a little bit. That he's like, yeah, if it's like a slur, it's just like an insult. But if I were to, call you a racial slur, it's like, well, no fucking shit, Dane. Like, once again, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, yeah, racial slurs is what we're talking about. We're not talking about you telling your friend you think they're dumb.
And then, with Dane, I guess let me switch to this view. Okay. So, Dane did happen to also tweet about us. So it is that same, screenshot that he used of all the video thumbnails. There we go. That's what I was trying to talk about. Where he seems to be punching down, when someone is desperate for your attention, it's not actually about you. It's about some gaping chasm of chasm, if you will, of insecurity that they're trying to paint over temporarily rather than find value in themselves and their life. Now, first off, can one paint over a chasm, or does he mean like plaster over or set up some temporary tarp? But can you really paint over a chasm?
I don't think
I
so.
don't know if his analogy is that great.
Maybe if you're a Wile E. Coyote, you can.
Yeah, in Looney Tunes, maybe you could. Well, even then, can you paint over a chasm? You know what I mean?
Paint
Like,
the
it's
thing on a
gaping
wall.
chasm.
Like they can,
It's
they can
not-
create a chasm.
This isn't some run-of-the-mill chasm here. This one's gaping.
Oh,
though. Like,
okay.
Can you paint over gaping? No. I would say no. I think his analogy falls flat. But on top of that, he's also trying to analyze or, do his analysis on us. And I just don't believe he's a good analyst to actually, make his analysis.
It's like a therapist analyst.
Yeah, he is the rapist. He is attempting to be the rapist, and with his therapy on us, he is making certain diagnoses. Quite frankly, I don't appreciate any of this. He's trying to mind read what could possibly be our reason for doing this.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, he's punching down at us, which is something that he said he would never do.
Yeah.
In fact, show's producer, Jabslant, he actually happened to post this one clip that seems very relevant on Twitter in response to Dane's tweet here.
This way, I don't cover channels that are smaller than me, and I've got sick just because I don't. There's no point.
Listen,
there's so many people with larger platforms. I believe in, what they call punching up, so to speak.
Right.
There's so many people with more of a position of, I guess, insulation from criticism. Whereas if my 6,000 subscriber channel, and I started talking shit on a channel with 100 subscribers, I'd probably, I don't know, I would just feel like an asshole.
Dane, what if somebody was overtly racist and they had a very small channel, but they were like a neo-Nazi?
I don't cover them either. I don't cover channels.
Yeah,
would it be?
I don't call
would
it
it be?
smaller
But would it
channels
be
in general?
Okay, so you
wait a
think
minute.
think if somebody covered a literal neo-Nazi and addressed the issues that the racist ideology that they.
Huh.
Apparently, no. Even then, even if they were overtly racist, which, again, we are not, he might have made accusations against you that you are, but those were really shitty, false accusations.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't cover this 100 sub channel. But apparently 161, which is
the cutoff,
what we
that's
were
just enough.
like a few weeks ago or a week ago when he took this clip. But, it's been a really good week.
Yeah.
We are no longer 161. We've almost gotten to that 200 barrier.
Moving on
which,
up.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, things are looking good. But apparently we deserve more of a response and mocking than, a 100 sub Nazi channel. So, that seems weird and, again, unprincipled. But, I've never made any stupid power differential arguments. I think the whole argument doesn't make sense to me. All right. And then WILIscredia decided to go ahead and weigh in on actual fandom's tweet there, and he answered, yes, the person who tried to educate me on humor and Patrice O'Neill, the comedian who I've spent hours with, shows / performed with. I wouldn't doubt that WILIscredia has opened up at shows or done like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like they've been in the same room,
he has
I'm
a couple
sure.
5 minutes on there. Yeah, but I'm guessing he didn't exactly view WILIscredia as a peer. But I never tried to gatekeep Patrice O'Neill or educate him about comedy. And I also included them in tweets because, both of them were too cowardly to actually include me in their shit talking. I will talk the shit to their face. I'm saying this to you, WILIscredia. No, I didn't gatekeep or try to educate you on comedy. I just said that you're not funny. You were the one who did both of those things to me. And if you don't believe me, you can definitely check out the comments on, I think that was my talk with Bob. But here they are. It is entirely too small to actually see here. But go ahead and check that out. He's the one who tried to tell me that I can't speak about Patrice O'Neill because he actually knew him and I should shut up about comedy. But I just repeatedly told him he is not funny. And then Dane decided to tweet out, he's becoming aware of a little ecosphere. So huge shout out to everyone in the ecosphere. I think that would also include Andrew Clark, probably ThatDarnKitteh.
Sure.
If you haven't checked out these channels, please
Vincent
do.
Martin.
Andrew Clark is, Vincent Martin
Tiamat,
also has
D-Lord.
covered some of this. Oh yes, Tiamat. Definitely, he is definitely included in this
I hope we're not forgetting
ecosphere
anybody.
of anti-initiative content. And there's a couple other channels. Definitely check out all of our channels, but I need to shout out one more specifically, and they'll be in the comments. But yeah, if you haven't checked out, say, Andrew Clark's channel, he does have an amazing video called, I am totally blanking, called Organized Chaos is Systemically Bad Faith.
Yeah.
Check out that video. It is a masterpiece. And then definitely check out ThatDarnKitteh. Her channel is amazing. She has broken down their Adam and Sitches and Organized Chaos and actual fandoms debate. She does a debate diagram that is just amazing. And then every Thursday, we actually all kind of get together and do what's called the Thinkers, where we kind of do a big think about a fun topic. One of them was mine and Ed's talk. And Patrick has been involved in the Thinkers as well. So definitely check that shit out. But the other one that I need to give a huge shout out to is Alastor Hacon.
Oh, yeah.
I'll also link him in the show notes. I was kind of vamping here while I was trying to bring it up, but he has an amazing video called Organized Chaos, Organized in Bad Faith. If you don't know the backstory of Organized Chaos, you need to see this. I don't know if he necessarily would include himself in this, but I think he is part of this ecosphere of anti-initiative content. Definitely check all that shit out. But definitely check his video out if you want to know anything about the backstory, because, wow, it is just...
I gotta watch that.
I don't know, amazing, incredibly thorough. If you want to know the whole backstory with Rags, the popcorn bucket, Bob, that whole back and forth, his is the coolest condensation, and I guess you'd give not necessarily play-by-play, but analysis. His is the best I've seen on
and I like.
So I definitely check it out.
I like Kitteh's channel because she really has a nice way of breaking everything down, so you can actually visually see what's going on in the arguments, and like you can really cut away bullshit. Even though we all talk and laugh so much during it, so if you want to have a good time in chat and then also maybe learn something, it's the place to be. And Andrew Clark, he's just so fucking smart. Like,
for sure,
he's like a goddamn genius or something. Like the guy has a way of looking at things where I'm like I don't. He's just. I think I'm in love with him. Yeah, I've been noticing the chatters have been like really surprising me lately. The chatters that are in like Dane and Ed's chat rooms. It's really
speaking of chatters from Ed's, maybe there just happens to be a few clips of some random chatters.
Love random chatters.
Okay, and let's pretend it actually was smoothly out there.
Oh yeah, that debate. I didn't stick up my sorry because a couple.
Let me go ahead and one more time. Sorry about this. All right.
Oh yeah, that debate. I didn't stick around very long, man. I'm sorry because couple of dildos in chat. It's just those guys just fucking take up all the oxygen, and I think that's what they intend to do. I think that's their goal, is to just like
dildos
say the dumb shit that they know
sounds
everybody
horrible. I was in that
so
chat. I didn't see a dildo in
take
there.
all the attention away from whatever the conversation should be. Those guys are dipshits. Sorry.
Which one are you, the dipshit or the dildo?
I didn't see dipshits in there either.
So how'd the debate go, Ed?
Why does it have to be binary?
Sorry about that.
Can you be both? I'm gonna dip my dildo shit into dildo shit.
Wow. And why does he keep clearing his throat, like right into the mic? We are using the same program that he is. You can't just mute it right there. He is spewing a bunch of it. I hear it is that season, so that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it was one of the better ones. That's good. And that guy, the little bit I heard, that guy at least sounded.
Ed was actually
civil and like
pretty
trying to be
charitable with
reasonable.
LG. It
You
was
know
a
what I
good
mean?
conversation.
So I don't know if maybe it got off the rails at some other point, but
got off the
Let us
rails
know
when
in
your
the chat if
fucking
you
ass
want us
showed
to
up.
cover Ed and LG's conversation. It was actually pretty
yeah,
cool.
the little bit I heard, he was, even though I disagree with him, he
we
was
should. Let
expressing
us know,
himself,
chat.
in a way that I'd prefer people to in those conversations. Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, yes, I should. Whoops,
Hella
I shouldn't even show that
desperate.
on screen, but yeah. They're very,
Shout
very
out.
Are we the
desperate.
dipshit dildos? Shout out from friend of the show, Dane AF. Yeah, so we're the dipshit dildos. I did not understand it. It took me wow, this is shocking. I thought maybe it was someone I didn't notice because I seem to be having a
there was
pretty
a lot
good
of
time
chatter
talking to a
in
bunch of
chat.
people in that chat. Yeah,
I enjoyed
I
that
think a lot
chat
of people
thoroughly.
were quite fair in that chat, and I think a lot of people were getting along, and it wasn't an echo chamber. I think that chat was quite cool.
I'm not going to throw
I didn't notice
out
any dipshits.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw out anybody's name in particular. I saw some regulars from their chats. People who I really have changed my opinion on, like Mika and Craig W, who's visited us and left some comments that I thought were also pretty fair.
Yeah,
I've changed my opinion on that guy completely.
for sure.
There was another guy,
That guy
guy
seems
in
really
there,
cool.
and he does seem really cool. He seems like he's a little weird, and
He
he
seems
even
like
said
he's
he's a
open to a
weirdo.
conversation.
Yeah,
He'll at
and,
least hear you
I-
out, which is more than I'll say
Yeah.
for a lot of them.
And we're all fucking weirdos. So like, if I
Yeah.
call Craig a weirdo,
Yeah,
it's
no
like,
judgment on the
you're in good
weirdo
company,
part.
buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that struck me really, really funny, and stop me if you know where I'm getting at, and if you don't want me to get to it, but is that we were all kind of like going back and forth a little bit, like people normally do in chat, like some of the initiatives chatters and edge chatters and us, and it was getting a little bit heated, and then all of a sudden, like you and I were kind of both like, hey, what do you guys like? And then Craig chimes in and he's like, oh, I'm into zombie movies. He's like, what are you guys into? And all of a sudden we start talking about zombie movies, and we're all getting along. And again, I'm not going to use people's names, but somebody said something about Dane, and people not from our crew, but from his crew were like, yeah, I fucking hate Dane. Like two other people popped up from people I've seen in his chat. And again, I'm not selling these people out.
No.
And they're like, yeah, Dane's a fucking asshole. Like, I prefer him to talk to Bob. Dane's a punk, this and that. You saw that, right?
Yes. Not only that, but there was also a special guest in the chat at one point as well. Mr. Actual Fandom, friend of the show.
Himself.
He joined the chat as well, and he put out a couple of messages. I wish I could remember exactly what they were, but
it was basically
Ed
just
did
him
decide
shitting
to
on that
edit
movie.
down- Yeah.
And then
but
try to
Ed
go after
decided
us.
to edit down a bunch of the video, which took out all of the live chat, which sucks. So there is no live chat replay. But I think Actual Fandom came in there and did like 3 messages total. 2 of them were about the movie, the Sound of Freedom thing, and
I think one was a fuck you guys.
I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something about I believe in. I think it was like something like it wasn't principles because I mean clearly he doesn't have principles.
No.
But he said something that he believes in, and then I just happened to chime in like I think he misspelled hypocrisy, and then he was just nowhere to be seen.
It was funny because everybody was like, yeah, I hate Dane. I hate Dane so much. Dane's a piece of shit. And all of a sudden Dane just fucking pops up and everybody's like, boo, boo. I was under the impression when these people like him. They don't. They fucking hate him.
He wasn't there for long. The dildos and dipshits really chased him away. And that's weird too. I don't often hear that word, but I do believe I have heard that word. Yeah, aimed towards them not too long ago.
Yeah, I say it all the time.
It seems to be adopted towards us.
It's weird. Every time I say a word or some kind of
noticed that
phrase
too.
or questions, it's like Dane starts saying them a couple days later, and I'm always like, "That's so strange." Wasn't I just talking about?
He's looking for content, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
Dane seems thirsty.
Were we just talking about
he
the
stole your
ESRB
questions,
ratings?
He's stealing your catchphrases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strange.
Hey, DJ just if he hasn't already done the stream, he's about to. That whole is cis a slur thing.
Yeah, that's a weird one too. Where'd you come up with
that? Was like
that?
episode 1 of our show. I don't know.
I mean,
it's weird.
maybe
And he
they'll
already
use the
said
questions.
he doesn't care. He's going to call you that regardless.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess that's why I view this as somewhat of a symbiotic relationship. You know, they get content, we get content.
Yeah.
But we're not calling them an us-based channel, and we are not a them-based channel. But getting back to the final part of our last shout out.
Honestly, dude, I'm kind of questioning like what their real motives are, in the sense that like it's just kind of bizarre how fixated they are on us, right? Like the initiative, people around the initiative is a very specific group of people, and like to the point that their little channel.
Well, you guys continually lie about us, and we feel like we have to set the record straight. You're right. We do have a little channel here, but it's growing every day. And, we're not the guys who proclaim that, there is something wrong about punching down, and then we're punching down.
No. Take a shot at us, man.
Who keep making these weird principled stances and then immediately going against them. But, you're perfectly within your right to come against us. But, that seems to be in contradiction to your principled stance of you believe in power dynamics. So
come at me, bro.
I don't know. It's just a little weird. But you're questioning what our motives are. Well, quite frankly, I wanted to understand why you guys have this seemingly useless standard, and I haven't been able to get an answer from any of you guys. None of you will engage in it. What can I say? I would like to understand, and I feel like you guys have just been lying and running ever since I've tried to ask. So
I'm on the run.
Understanding is my motive. What about you, Patrick? I know they lied about you quite extensively, but what's your motivation for doing this?
I just want the truth, because the truth will set you free, Dane. And I want apologies. So far, I think Dane owes me an apology. Ed owes me an apology, and DJ owes me an apology.
I was going to say, don't forget about Eric. He needs to apologize.
He should have the biggest apology of all, because he actually pretended like he was a decent person. In order to trick me into thinking that we were going to have a good conversation. The other guys, like Bob's never bothered me. Bob, he could be, Bob, but I think he's a sweet little lamb. He's like a little, he's like that little dog, it's like sweet little Bobby. I think Bob's a good guy, good dad, and I think he makes good content. Make better content when he gets away from Dane. But yeah, my motivation was really in the beginning, and the origin will go into this, but it was just to have a conversation and to try to explain to these guys that, hey, not everybody that disagrees with you is a racist, bigoted, transphobe. It's proving harder than I thought. I would have been done with this that day, that night, the night that the fated night that this origin begins. I would have been done. I would have been like, I don't like this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah,
but they motivate me every day to get the truth to come out.
He didn't have to get on the next stream and even mention you, but the fact that he did and then called you racist, when you guys didn't talk about race at all, is just, I don't know.
Mind-blowing.
It's so weird. I don't understand. I guess I really don't understand that mindset.
He can't keep my name out of his mouth.
Yeah, well, either of ours really, but
no.
Let's see what else he's using his mouth for in this final part of our shout out. Again, friend of the show, Actual Fandom.
That's almost exclusively what they talk about. And they do it in the most bad faith, fucking disingenuous way possible. Crazy Jim Caviezel. Let's see.
Crazy Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, that says it all.
It really does. Well, all right then. We've been on quite the journey.
Yeah.
So those were all the shout outs we've gotten as of recently. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts on this whole, I don't know what you want to call it, ordeal? Journey, if you will?
Yeah, it just continues to be the same thing. You boys want to put this to rest. We can do it anytime you want. Stop being you. And, just reach out, be a man. We'll Gray will send you an email. Be a man, man up, and all of you.
I expect no response.
And there's no. You may get a response. It's just not going to be directly a reply to you. He might put it through his Discord first and then do a stream about it for a couple of days.
I'm assuming anything I send to him is going directly to that Discord. I didn't previously assume that, but I see a pattern.
Yeah. And also, you know what? Like I said, we said it a couple times tonight, like today. We're getting to a point where we're almost over it. Like it's just kind of like, how many times are you gonna fucking do the same thing? And I can't tell you how many times you and I have spoke and been like, yeah, you know what? This is fucking stupid. Like, let's do something else. And then literally like the next day I'll be like, did you fucking hear what this guy said? Like, he just told flat out lies about us. Like, how can we just be like, yeah, you know what? Okay, Dane, you just continue to lie about people. And the worst part about it is that every time he lies about us, it makes everything else he says completely invalid to me. Yeah. And the people who know us know that when he's lying about us, that means it's got to be lying about everybody else. Why would you take anything he says seriously if he lies?
It definitely makes me question some of the other weird accusations and even recommendations that he's said before. Because it's like, how can you be so wrong in this instance and possibly it just brings into question. I would definitely want to verify. I don't know if he's even making any money off it. Though,
if he's a grifter, he's the worst fucking grifter I've ever seen. Because that dude makes no fucking money. Like, I don't know what he did to get demonetized. And obviously we've done our research to do our videos. And I think he makes like $43 a month on his OnlyFans. What's it called? Is Patreon?
No, I think you were right the first time. I think it's his OnlyFans page. But yeah, maybe he'll make more. He does often post old videos that he takes down off of here onto there. So, if you do want to see some of his select archive, you might be able to catch some of it there. But,
I hope he starts making some money. I don't want to see actual fandom streaming from the fucking homeless shelter.
True.
I'll donate if that happens.
If there's no actual way to make money off it, I guess it's not a grift. It's just, I don't know.
It's just you're an
what
idiot.
Would you call it? Yeah, failing at capitalism. I don't know.
Failing at life.
That man is
he's great. He's just a great guy.
There is one more smart man who, again, we got to give one more shout out to. It is our producer, Jab Slant, who also tweeted out this in response to everything. There was another little
problem with a lot of these people that are quote unquote leftists is that they don't actually have any principled positions on anything they believe in. They just think that it's bad as long as they agree with the person politically, and if they disagree with the person politically, then all insults and everything are good.
Now, that's not necessarily 100% due to this circumstance, but I don't know. I feel like it really did kind of encapsulate the kind of double standard we're seeing. I guess since we're not playing a video, let me try and put my camera back on and see if it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to do the delay thing. It kept delaying us earlier, so I had my camera off. Not that I wanted to deprive you all of this amazing mug.
Beautiful head of hair.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, the hair I do have, but the mug.
You're a good-looking fella. Don't sell yourself short.
I hate every ounce of my being.
But
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's delayed right now, which is kind of good. So I guess there's one last thing that I guess we should end on this feeling. This statement, really. If we ever say anything like this, we deserve all the criticism in the world. Please never let us say anything like this.
If you actually cared about this as a racist thing, you would be focusing on a lot of other shit. No, you're using it.
You won't be focusing on us. You'd be focusing on the guys we're focusing on, honestly.
You're using it cynically, probably because we said something that challenged the dudes that you like in that debate. Maybe feel a little bit threatened by it or something like that. So you're over here using bad faith, dishonest fucking bullshit to throw out because you got nothing else.